on some spiritual music here so it's not too loud. And to start the show, got my coffee and me water. Oh. Today is a big day, guys. Really, really big. Super good day at Temple today. Spoke to some good friends. I missed out on somebody that was supposed to be there, but I guess something happened. Actually, I made a mistake. I probably should have actually reached out to her. I feel really, really bad about it now. I should probably text her really quick and see if she's okay. Put this on. Oh my god, everybody's live right now. It is Sunday. Hey, this is an apple pie and hamburger helper. What the hell? Damn you, stream elements. First did you, pickle boy? No, Wild, no, not right here on Sunday. How are you doing, Wild? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you, man. Went to Temple this morning. They were talking about happiness, what it means to be happy. Joy, the human condition, and what it means to be joyous. It was really interesting. They were talking about like how man only has like 4 different states of being. Like the average dude only has like, it's like you're bored, you're looking for something, you know, some joy, so you're dissatisfied while you're looking for that joy. You have those objects of joy or desire, so you're kind of content with that. And then if you remove all those 3, like through, you know, meditation or some type of peace, you remove those 3 states of being, you'll have this negative peace, is what they called it, because you removed these consciousnesses in order to feel this peace. And that isn't correct. Like, in order to get joy, you should have a positive attribute. You should be doing something in order to bring that joy in. And they were just explaining that that's what meditation is. It was really good. I got to talk to a bunch of people. What are you doing today, Wild? Any plans? Any wild things going on? Today's gonna be a really good day for reading. We're reading chapter 10 through 13, and this is like the chapter where Yogananda meets his sprained foot, still running errands. Oh my God, you sprained your foot? How'd you sprain it, dude? Going too hard in that new Fortnite event, man. Jesus Christ! You rode the surfboard into off the battle bus or yourself. You were like, you know what? I'm gonna do this myself. That sucks, dude. I hope you're okay. I used to roll my ankles all the time in football, man. I have really, really weak ligaments. Like, I tore my ACL, rolled my ankles all the time. I always had really weak knees and stuff. I'm proud of you for still running your errands, though. You're a good son. You're a good grandson. You keep the family proud, Wildly. I was talking to my friend Jeezy. His boyfriend's Filipino, his partner is Filipino, and he was like, "Yeah, I have family in the Philippines, but I don't go over there because like they were saying that it's like customary. I jumped off 3 stories, and apparently that's fall damage." Pathetic. It's like you felt it in real life. You're like, "Oh damn." And he was saying that, yeah, I don't go visit him because, like, if you do go, there's, like, a weird kind of tradition thing where, like, if you're from the States and you have more, you're expected to, like, leave everything behind with your family. Like, all your, you're supposed to leave behind, like, even, like, your luggage and stuff. And I was just like, what? He was like, yeah, so it's kind of like my brother, he said that him and his brother went, but they don't see family or something like that. It's like that movie Gamer. Today's gonna be such a good one. Chapter 10 through 13, man. These are like some of the best chapters. It's when he meets his guru for the first time, and he meets his guru finally. Yes, you're expected to give. Ugh, that sucks. Do you have family in the Philippines? Have you been to the Philippines before a while? Did you grow up there? But yeah, this chapter is really good. He finally meets his guru. As we, just a little summary, like, up to this point, Yogananda was given, like, an amulet and told, like, hey, this amulet is for you, and you're pretty much, it's like something that was given to him from his mother on her deathbed message, saying that, this amulet is telling you where to go with your life. Not since I was but a wee boy in 2nd grade. Oh, cool. I went to Chihuahua when I was like in 6th or 7th grade, which is like where my dad's from, and it's wild over there. It's like super rural. It's like a little house on the prairie. Everyone's like white. It's super weird. Like, even though it's Mexico, it's like blonde hair, blue eyes. It's really, really interesting. That's why I'm so light-skinned. But my, so Yogananda got this amulet telling him he's going to become a guru. He got all these messages from past incarnations that he's going to become like a spiritual leader. Nice one, blue eyes, white boy. Tee hee me. And he's like, he's freaking out about it, kind of. He's been getting these memories and these visions to like go to the Himalayas. He wants to go to the Himalayas. He wants to find his guru. So he's been on this spiritual search for years. He's been trying to leave school, but his family is like persistent upon him staying and finishing high school and going to college because his family's rich and they want him to keep on the family business. He finally goes through all these various spiritual teachers, and none of them are what he's looking for. He's looking for his guru. He's looking for Swami Sri Yukteswar on the far, I guess my right, your left, over there, Swami Sri Yukteswar. And he finally finds him after finding all these various holy men of India, the levitating saint, the Swami tiger, the tiger Swami, the Swami Kebalananda, Pranabhananda, the saint with 2 bodies. So now we finally get to see... Oh, good coffee. My gosh, I was starving today. We finally get to see Yogananda's guru after all these... After all this time, finally. Chapter 10. Oh, I think it's pinned, right? Yeah, okay, so there should be a pin on the top here, and this is actually a link to a book, a copy of Autobiography of Yogi. I think it's like the most recent one, the 75th anniversary edition, which is the copy I have. So you can kind of follow along if you like. Chapter 10. I meet my master Sri Yukteswar. Faith in God can produce any miracle except one: passing an examination without study. Distastefully, I closed the inspirational book I had picked up in an idle moment. The writer's exception shows his complete lack of faith, I thought. Poor chap, he has a great respect for the midnight oil. My promise to father had been that I would complete my high school studies. I cannot pretend to diligence. The passing months found me less frequently in the classroom than in secluded spots along the Calcutta bathing ghats. The adjoining crematory grounds, especially gruesome at night, are considered highly attractive by the yogi. He who would find the deathless essence must not be dismayed by a few unadorned skulls. Human inadequacy becomes clear in the gloomy abode of miscellaneous bones. My midnight vigils were thus of a different nature from the scholars. The week of final examinations at the Hindu school was fast approaching. This interrogatory period, like the sepulchral haunts, inspires a well-known terror. My mind was nevertheless at peace. Braving the ghouls, I was exhuming a knowledge not found in lecture halls. But I lacked the art of Swami Pranabhananda, who easily appeared in 2 places at one time. My reasoning, though to many, alas, it seems illogic, was that the Lord would notice my dilemma and would extricate me from it. The devotee's irrationality springs from 1,000 inexplicable demonstrations of God's instancy in trouble. Isn't that so interesting? Like, he says such a brilliant phrase here that seems kind of insane to the average person. He's like, first he's like, I lacked what... Okay, first of all, he's hanging out in crematory grounds. He's not going to school. He's skipping class and he's just hanging out in these bathing ghats, by the Ganges. He's meditating all the time, or by these holy areas. And next to them are crematory grounds. And he's going to these crematory grounds at night. He's like, they're extremely gruesome, especially at night. And, he's saying that anyone who's looking for the deathless essence, anyone looking for truth, for God, they should not be afraid of some unadorned skulls. They shouldn't be afraid of death. They shouldn't be afraid of skeletons and crematory grounds. And so he wasn't studying, and then he's like, I didn't have the abilities that Pranabananda had, being able to be in two places at once. And he says something so sweet. He's like, my thought was the Lord was going to fix this. He's like, God will see my problems and he'll just come down and fix it. And then he says something so nice that backs it up. He's like, the devotee's irrationality springs from 1,000 inexplicable demonstrations of God's instancy in trouble. There's been so many instances in myself where I go within and it's like you instantly see this, like there's a reason why these fanatics are the way they are. They're not just dumb, like it's been done before. They've seen, Yogananda himself, he's like, I've seen this happen. He's like, I'm waiting for God to just step in. It's like, that's how close he was to this. Like, oh man, I love it. Hello, Mukunda. I catch hardly a glimpse of you these days. A classmate accosted me one afternoon on Garpar Road. Hello, Nantu. My invisibility at school seems to have placed me there in a decidedly awkward position. I unburdened myself under his friendly gaze. Nantu, who was a brilliant student, laughed heartily. My predicament was not without a cosmic aspect. You are utterly unprepared for the finals, he said. I suppose it is up to me to help you. The simple words conveyed divine promise to my ears. With alacrity I visited my friend's home. He kindly outlined the solutions to various problems he considered likely to be set by the instructors. These questions are the bait that will catch many trusting boys in the examination trap. Remember my answers, and you will escape without injury. The night was far gone when I departed. Bursting with unseasoned erudition, I devoutly prayed it would remain for the next few critical days. Nantu had coached me in my various subjects, but, under press of time, had forgotten my course in Sanskrit. Fervently I reminded God of the oversight. I set out on a walk the next morning, assimilating my new knowledge to the rhythm of swinging footsteps. As I took a shortcut through the weeds of a corner lot, my eye fell on a few loose printed sheets. A triumphant pounce. In my hand were Sanskrit verses. I sought out a pundit for aid in my stumbling interpretation. His rich voice filled the air with the edgeless, honeyed beauty of the ancient tongue. Provoke 710 Thoughts said, Piggy, piggy, piggy. What up, Provoke 710 Thoughts? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. How was your day? Hope you and the wife are doing good. How's Sweet Pea? Guys, check out some Provoke 710 Thoughts. They're super amazing. A triumphant pounce. So it's so interesting. Yogananda was like, oh man, I'm suffering. Mishimo, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Yes. No, you is amazing. Oh, no, you. So Yogananda's freaking out. Volgrim forgot you have... Hope you have a great stream, bro. I'll tab you up when I get upstairs. Oh, thank you so much, Volgrim. I really appreciate you, man. Please check out Volgrim Reaper, guys. He's a nice guy underneath all his deep-seated try-hardness on Battlefield. Underneath that deep core of pure try-hardness. There's a sweet, sweet, loving heart under there. So Yogananda's freaking out. He doesn't know anything. He hasn't been... The final exams are coming up. He hasn't been in school, like we said. And then suddenly he runs into his friend. And then suddenly he runs into his friend who hasn't seen him forever, who's brilliant. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to help you out. Thank you. He's like, you know what? I'm going to help you out. I'm going to... He's like, I know what the teachers are going to have. And he verses him through what he needs. And he's like just cramming him full of information. And then he's like, oh my God, he didn't teach me anything about Sanskrit. Oh, whatever. I'll remind God about it. And as he's walking, there's some loose leaves of paper on the floor. And he picks them up and there's Sanskrit verses on there. And then he finds a friend that's teaching him all the verses. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then the word Sanskrit, what does that mean? Sanskrita. There's a footnote here and it reads, Sanskrita. It means polished or complete. Sanskrit is the elder sister of all Indo-European tongues. Its alphabetical script is called Devangadi. Devangadi, literally divine abode. Who knows my grammar knows God. Panini, great philologist of ancient India, paid that tribute to the mathematical, psychological perfection of Sanskrit. He who would track language to its lair must indeed end as omniscient. Yes, Sanskrit, the ancient tongue, the abode of gods. It's perfect. These exceptional stanzas cannot possibly be of aid in your Sanskrit test. The scholar dismissed them skeptically. But familiarity with the particular poem enabled me on the following day to pass the Sanskrit examination. Through the discerning help Nantu had given, I also attained the minimum grade for success in all my other subjects. Father was pleased that I had kept my word and concluded my secondary school course. My gratitude sped to the Lord, whose sole guidance I perceived in my visit to Nantu's home and in my walk by the unhabitual route to the debris-filled lot. Playfully, he had given a dual expression to his timely design for my rescue. Playfully, he had given a dual expression to his timely design for my rescue. I came across the discarded book whose author had denied God precedence in the examination halls. I could not restrain a chuckle at my own silent comment. Ramen, good to see you, man. How are you? Check out Ramen, guys. He's a gaming god. He's going to be doing New Game Plus 7. No hit, Radon. I could not restrain a chuckle at my own silent comment. It would only add to his fellow's confusion if I were to tell him that divine meditation among the cadavers is a shortcut to a high school diploma. In my new dignity, I was now openly planning to leave home. Together with a young friend, Jitendra Mazumdar, I decided to join a Benares hermitage, Sri Bharat Dharma Mahamandal, and receive its spiritual discipline. So there's a few footnotes here. Jitendra Mazumdar, he was not Jitendra Jyotin Ghosh, who we will remember for his timely aversion to tigers. So there's someone else. A Benares hermitage. So Benares, what is that? Since India gained her independence, the original Indian spelling has been restored to many words that had become anglicized during British rule. Thus, Benares is now more commonly spelled Varanasi, or is referred to by its more ancient name, Kashi. So it's no longer Benares. It's back to its original name of Kashi, or Varanasi. Together with a young friend, Jitendra Mazumdar, I decided to join a Benares hermitage, Sri Bharat Dharma Mahamandal, and receive its spiritual discipline. A desolation fell over me one day at the thought of separation from my family. Since mother's death, my affection had grown especially tender for my two younger brothers, Sananda and Bishnu, and for Thamu, my youngest sister. I rushed to my retreat, the little attic that had witnessed so many scenes in my turbulent sadhana. A sadhana is the path or preliminary road to God. True, just smoked a blunt and took 840 milligrams of gummies, and I'm gonna lock in some Pokemans. Oh, hell yeah, dude. The Pokemans, huh? What's up, man? Thank you for being here, Benjamin. I really appreciate you. I just joined and heard Tender. He's like, Tender, huh? Go on. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, brother. Yes. Spiritual Sundays. We're reading Autobiography of Yogi over here. This is actually a really good chapter. It's when he first meets his guru. Hell yeah, brother. Happy Sunday. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Have a good time on Pokemon. I went to church this morning and temple, and I just... it was all about happiness. Like, what does joy mean? What does happiness mean? And it was really, really interesting. This chapter is really good. It's about when he met his guru, and it's super, super good. If you guys don't want to hang around, I know it's not my usual thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I do my gaming stuff, but Sundays are for God. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I rushed to my retreat, the little attic that had witnessed so many scenes in my turbulent sadhana, or my preliminary path to God. I will sit here, Super Hash Bro. Thank you, Ramen. After a 2-hour flood of tears, I felt singularly transformed, as by some alchemical cleanser. All attachment disappeared. My resolution to see God as the friend of friends became adamantine. Hindu scripture teaches that the family attachment is delusive if it prevents the devotee from seeking the giver of all boons, including the one of loving relatives, not to mention life itself. Jesus similarly taught, He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Matthew 10:37. Isn't that so interesting, guys? Isn't that so amazing? So like his mother passed away. He was so depressed. He's like, I need to find who gave my mother these feelings. Who loved me more than my mother? He sat in his attic room. He would spend hours and hours in there meditating. He's like, I went back to my attic room. He was like, he wanted to leave. He finally graduated high school. He's like, I'm going to find God. I'm going to join the ashram. He found a Benares ashram that he was going to join. But right before he could, emotion came over him. This tenderness that he felt for his sisters and younger brothers, they increased since his mother's passing when he was 11 years old. So now he goes to his attic room and he's like, I need to know the answer. He sits there in meditation for hours. He's like, I rushed to my retreat, the little attic that had witnessed the many scenes of my turbulent sadhana. After a 2-hour flood of tears, I felt singularly transformed as by some alchemical cleanser. All attachment disappeared. My resolution to see God as the friend of friends became adamantine. So all attachment here has a footnote, and that's what it read at the very bottom there. Isn't that so fantastic? It's like this isn't just... Hindu scriptures teach that family attachment can be blinding. Everything can actually be blinding if it gets in the way of finding the truth, of finding God. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. It seems kind of like it's so much, yeah? It's so deep. So before he leaves, I make one last plea. Father was distressed as I stood before him for his blessing. Do not forsake me and your grieving brothers and sisters. Revered Father, how can I tell my love for you? But even greater is my love for the Heavenly Father, who has given me the gift of a perfect Father on earth. Let me go, that I someday return with a more divine understanding. With reluctant parental consent, I set out to join Jitendra. Early in Benares, at the hermitage. On my arrival, the young head Swami, Dayananda, greeted me cordially. Tall and thin, of thoughtful mind, he impressed me favorably. His fair face had a Buddha-like composure. I was pleased that my new home possessed an attic, where I managed to spend the dawn and morning hours. The ashram members, knowing little of meditation practices, thought I should employ my whole time in organizational duties. They gave me praise for my afternoon work in their office. Don't try to catch God so soon. This ridicule from a fellow resident accompanied one of my early departures towards the attic. I went to Dayananda, busy in his small sanctum overlooking the Ganges. Swamiji, I don't understand what is required of me here. Swamiji, Ji is a customary respectful suffix, particularly used in direct address. Thus, Swamiji, Guruji, Sri Yukta Swarji. So if you're talking to someone, you would, out of matter of respect, you would add Ji at the end of their name. So Yogananda was speaking to his guru there, the head of the ashram. Swamiji, I don't understand what is required of me here. I am seeking direct perception of God. Without him, I cannot be satisfied with affiliation or creed or performance of good works. The orange-robed ecclesiastic gave me an affectionate pat. Staging a mock rebuke, he admonished a few nearby disciples. Don't bother Mukunda. He will learn our ways. I politely concealed my doubt. The students left the room, not noticeably bent with their chastisement. Dayananda had further words for me. Mukunda, I see your father is regularly sending you money. Please return it to him. You require none here. A second injunction for your discipline concerns food. Even when you feel hunger, do not mention it. Whether famishment gleamed in my eye, I knew not. That I was hungry, I knew only too well. The invariable hour for the first hermitage meal was 12 noon. I had been accustomed in my own home to a large breakfast at 9 o'clock. The 3-hour gap became daily more interminable. Gone were the Calcutta years where I could rebuke the cook for a 10-minute delay. Now I tried to control my appetite. I completed a 24-hour fast. With doubled zest, I awaited the following midday. Dayanandaji's train is late. We are not going to eat until he arrives. Jitendra brought me this devastating news. As a gesture of welcome to the Swami, who had been absent for 2 weeks, many delicacies were in readiness. An appetizing aroma filled the air. Nothing else offering, What could be swallowed except my pride and yesterday's fast? Oh my goodness. Lord, hasten the train! The heavenly provider, I thought, could hardly have been included in the interdiction with which Dayananda had silenced me. Divine attention was elsewhere. However, the plodding clock covered the hours. Darkness was descending as our leader entered the door. My greeting was one of sheer joy. Oh, Michelle's here. Oh, good. You're taking a good whiff. How you doing? Are we doing well, Michelle? Thank you for sniffing me. I know you're addicted to your silly games. Oh my God, it's such a good chapter, Michelle. Oh my God, it's so good. You didn't miss much. So Yogananda left his family. He graduated high school barely, and he's like, I'm gonna find God. So he went to a Benares hermitage, and he met this group there that was making fun of him because he meditated all the time. They're like, no, you need to do this, da 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 da. And yeah, so now he's dealing with hunger. He's talking about like how his when he was a child, he was so spoiled. He was able to eat food whenever he wanted. He would have a meal every morning at 9 o'clock. If it was 10 minutes late, he would be mad at the chef or his mom or whoever was cooking, and he'd be like, hey, where's the food? Man, I'm hungry. And like now, the first meal isn't until 12 o'clock after meditations. Every day, the 3-hour gap that's usually there is getting worse and worse. And then now the head of the ashram has been gone for a day. They don't eat when he's not there. So a 24-hour fast has happened. And now the train is delayed. It's not even coming at noon. It's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And he's just like, oh God, yes. Lord, hasten the train. So he's like, my greeting was one of sheer joy. Dayanandaji will bathe and meditate before we can serve food. Jitendra approached me again as a bird of ill omen. I'll be listening while I play. Thanks for the recap. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I was in near collapse. My young stomach, new to deprivation, protested with gnawing vigor. Pictures I had seen of famine victims passed wraith-like before me. The next Benares death from starvation is due at once in this hermitage, I thought. Impending doom was averted at 9 o'clock. Ambrosial summons. In memory, that evening meal is vivid as one of life's perfect hours. Intense absorption had not prevented me from observing that Dayananda ate absent-mindedly. He was apparently above my gross pleasures. Joe gets psyched. Where are we today in your reading? Oh, what's up, Joe? Oh, we're in an ad. Oh, good. You don't worry about ads. Hey, thank you, Michelle, for the gifted sub to Joe, so that way it doesn't have to be Joe gets subs. So we're on chapter 10 of the book. There's actually a link if you want to follow along, I think, on the top. You can follow. We're on chapter 10, page 76. It's like the next page over. And yeah, Yogananda is just talking about, oh, Michelle said yes. Tee. What amazing. What a gift. What a little gem. What a rare flower here on Earth's garden. Yeah, so he's just starving. It's like the first day he's had to go without food, being a spoiled little Indian boy who was rich. He didn't have to deal with hunger or anything like that. Oh my God, I need to take a sip of coffee real quick. And like this whole time up to this chapter, he had met all these different gurus, but none of them were his true guru. He had visions already of Swami Sri Yukteswar on the far, I guess your right? Yeah, your far right. So there's Yogananda on the left of him, and then on the far right is Sri Yukteswar. And he had already had visions of him. He had seen him before in prayer and meditation and stuff like that from visions of past lifetimes. And so he kept seeing all these other holy men of India who were doing crazy, like, spiritual miracles. People were, like, creating fragrance from their hands. One of them fought tigers with his bare hands. Another guy was levitating. And those are all great, and he explained the science behind it as well. However, it was far too phenomenal for him. He didn't want that. He wanted truth. He wanted to find the divine within himself through meditation, through a true guru. Oh, heavens, heavens, heavens. My lordy, lordy, lord. What a good Sunday, huh? What a gift. I was hoping to get through these ads in another minute. And then I will continue with the reading. So if you are following along, 76, Autobiography Yogi, we're on the bottom of the page where it says, Lord, hasten the train. Oh, no, we're on the next page. We're on page 76 at the top of the page. 77, I mean, at the top of the page. When he's just talking about how delicious the meal was, finally. 10 seconds. Joe gets hash browned. All right. Welcome back, cuties, patooties. So he comes back from the, he's finally eating this delicious meal after pretty much a 2-day fast. Intense absorption had not prevented me from observing that Dayananda ate absent-mindedly. He was apparently above my gross pleasures. Swamiji, weren't you hungry? Happily surfeited, I was alone with the leader in his study. Oh, yes, he said. I spent the last 4 days without food or drink. I never eat on trains filled with the heterogeneous vibrations of worldly people. Strictly, I observe the shastric rules for monks of my particular order. Certain problems of our organizational work lie on my mind. Tonight at home I neglected my dinner. What's the hurry? Tomorrow I'll make it a point to have a proper meal. He laughed merrily. Shame spread within me like a suffocation. But the past day of my torture was not easily forgotten. I ventured a further remark. Swamiji, I am puzzled. About following your instruction. Suppose I never ask for food and nobody gives me any. I should starve to death? Die then. This alarming counsel split the air. Die if you must, Mukunda. Never believe that you live by the power of food and not by the power of God. He who has created every form of nourishment, he who has bestowed appetite, will inevitably see that his devotee is maintained. Do not imagine that rice sustains you, nor that money or men support you. Could they aid if the Lord withdraws your life breath? They are his instruments merely. Is it by any skill of yours that food digests in your stomach? Use the sword of your discrimination, Mukunda. Cut through the chains of agency and perceive the single cause. I found his incisive words entering some deep marrow. Gone was an old age delusion by which bodily imperatives outwit the soul. Then and there I tasted the Spirit's all-sufficiency. In how many strange cities in my later life of ceaseless travel did occasion arise to prove that serviceability of this lesson in a Benares hermitage? The sole treasure which had accompanied me from Calcutta with the sadhu's silver amulet bequeathed to me by mother. Guarding it for years, I now had it carefully hidden in my ashram room. To renew my joy in the talismanic testimony, one morning I opened the locked box. The sealed covering untouched. Lo, the amulet was gone. Mournfully I tore open the envelope and made unmistakably sure it had vanished, in accordance with the sadhu's prediction, into the ether whence he had summoned it. My relationship with Dayananda's followers grew steadily worse. The household was alienated, hurt by my determined aloofness. My strict adherence to meditation on the very ideal for which I had left home and all worldly ambitions called forth shallow criticism from all sides. Torn by spiritual anguish, I entered the attic one dawn, resolved to pray until an answer was vouchsafed. Merciful Mother of the universe, teach me thyself, through visions or through a guru sent by thee. The passing hours found my sobbing pleas without response. Suddenly, I felt lifted, as though bodily to a sphere uncircumscribed. Thy master cometh today. A divine womanly voice came from everywhere and nowhere. The supernal experience was shattered by a shout from a definite local. A young priest nicknamed Habu was calling me from the downstairs kitchen. Mukunda, enough of meditation. You are needed for an errand. Another day I might have replied impatiently. Now I wiped my tear-swollen face and meekly obeyed the summons. Together, Habu and I set out for a distant marketplace in the Bengali section of Benares. The ungentle Indian sun was not yet at zenith as we made our purchases in the bazaars. We pushed our way through the colorful medley of housewives, guides, priests, simply clad widows, dignified Brahmins, and ubiquitous holy bulls. As Habu and I moved on, I turned my head to survey a narrow, inconspicuous lane. A Christ-like man, in the ochre robes of a Swami, stood motionless at the end of the lane. Instantly and anciently familiar he seemed. For a thrice my gaze fed hungrily. Then doubt assailed me. You are confusing this wandering monk with someone known to you, I thought. Dreamer, walk on. After 10 minutes, I felt heavy numbness in my feet, as though turned to stone. They were unable to carry me farther. Laboriously, I turned around. My feet regained normality. I faced the opposite direction. Again, the curious weight oppressed me. The saint is magnetically drawing me to him. With this thought, I heaped my parcels into the arms of Habu. He had been observing my erratic footwork with amazement, and now burst into laughter. What ails you? Are you crazy? My tumultuous emotion prevented any retort. I sped silently away. Retracing my steps as though wing-shod, I reached the narrow lane. My quick glance revealed the quiet figure, steadily gazing in my direction. A few eager steps, and I was at his feet. Gurudeva. The divine face was one I had seen in a thousand visions. These halcyon eyes, in a Leonian head with a pointed beard and flowing locks, had oft peered through the gloom of my nocturnal reveries, holding a promise I had not fully understood. Oh, my own, you have come to me. My guru uttered the words again and again in Bengali, his voice tremulous with joy. How many years I have waited for you. We entered a oneness of silence. Words seemed the rankest superfluities. Eloquence flowed in soundless chant from the heart of master to disciple. With an antenna of irrefragable insight, I sensed that my guru knew God and would lead me to him. The obscuration of this life disappeared in a fragile dawn of prenatal memories. Dramatic time passed. Hash! What up, Mila? How you doing? Everyone check out Mila. She's nice or whatever. What's wrong? Are you okay? You don't like reading? Good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, my own. Oh, here we go. With an antenna of irrefragable insight, I sensed that my guru knew God and would lead me to him. The obscuration of this life disappeared in a fragile dawn of prenatal memories. Dramatic time, past, present, and future are its cycling scenes. This was not the first son to find me at these holy feet. My hand in his, my guru led me to his temporary residence in the Rana Mahal section of the city. His athletic figure moved with firm tread. Tall, erect, about 55 at this time, he was active and vigorous as a young man. His dark eyes were large, beautiful, with plumbless wisdom. Slightly curly hair softened a face of striking power. Strength mingled subtly with gentleness. Hi, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm reading Autobiography Yogi. I go to temple every Sunday, and I'm really into meditation. I've been following this spiritual path for years, and it's been kind of bugging me that I don't bring this up in my streams. So I go to church on Sundays and then a temple on Sundays with my Yogananda's temples, and then I come here and I read to you. We're on chapter 10. There's I don't expect you to, but there's a link at the top here if you'd like to follow along of the book, and we're on chapter 10, page 79. Yogananda just met his guru. Yo, Monster, good to see you, man. Thanks for the lurkies. So Paramahansa Yogananda right there in the middle between those three faces. Just met. This is the scene of him meeting his guru here. It's angelic times, dramatic times. Looking clean with the cut, G. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I got this haircut last week. Thank you. My barber's good. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so. Check a Monster. He reads and stuff too. Monster started reading Berserk like a couple months ago, and now he's absolutely obsessed, and he has all the books. My hand in his, my guru led me to his temporary residence in the Rana Mahal section of the city. His athletic figure moved with firm tread. Tall, erect, about 55 at this time, he was active and vigorous as a young man. His dark eyes were large, beautiful, with plumbless wisdom. Slightly curly hair softened a face of striking power. Strength, subtly, mingled with gentleness. As we made our way to the stone balcony of a house overlooking the Ganges, he said affectionately, "I shall give you my hermitages and all I possess. Sir, I come for wisdom and God realization. Those are my treasure troves. Those are your treasure troves I am offer." I wouldn't say reading, although I would say looking at pictures. It takes a lot of imagination, man. Sir, I come for wisdom and God realization. Those are your treasure troves I am after. The swift Indian twilight had dropped its half curtain before my master spoke again. His eyes held unfathomable tenderness. I give you my unconditional love. Picture of Swami Sri Yukteswar. I have that same picture on my wall. Swami Sri Yukteswar, 1855 to 1936, a Gyan avatar, or an incarnation of wisdom. Disciple of Lahiri Mahashaya, Guru of Sri Yogananda, Padam Guru of all SRF YSS Kriya Yogis. So if you're part of SRF, if you're part of this line of yogis, this is your Guru as well. So his last words were, after not speaking, his eyes held unfathomable tenderness. He says, I give you my unconditional love. Precious words. A quarter century elapsed before I had another auricular proof of his love. His lips were strange to ardor. Silence suited his oceanic heart. Will you give me the same unconditional love? He gazed at me with childlike trust. I will love you eternally, Gurudev. Ordinary love is selfish, darkly rooted in desires and satisfaction. Divine love is without condition, without boundary, without change. The flux of the human heart is gone forever at the transfixing touch of pure love. He added humbly, if ever you find me falling from a state of God realization, please promise to put my head on your lap and help to bring me back to the cosmic beloved we both worship. He rose then in the gathering darkness and guided me to an inner room. As we ate mangoes and almond sweetmeats, he unobtrusively wove into his conversation an intimate knowledge of my nature. I was awestruck at the grandeur of his wisdom, exquisitely blended with an innate humility. Do not grieve for your amulet. It has served its purpose. Like a divine mirror, my Guru apparently had caught a reflection of my whole life. The living reality of your presence, Master, is joy beyond any symbol. It is time for a change, inasmuch as you are unhappily situated in the hermitage. I had made no references to my life. They now seemed superfluous. By his natural he's like, what's the point? By his natural unemphatic manner, I understood that he wished no astonished ejaculations at his clairvoyance. You should go back to Calcutta. Why exclude relatives from your love of humanity? His suggestion dismayed me. My family was predicting my return, though I had been unresponsive to many pleas by letter. Let the young bird fly in the metaphysical skies, Ananta had remarked. His wings will tire in the heavy atmosphere. We shall yet see him swoop toward home. Hold his pinions and humbly rest in our family nest. This discouraging simile, fresh in my mind, I was determined to do no swooping in the direction of Calcutta. Sir, I am not returning home, but I will follow you anywhere. Please, give me your address and your name. Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri. My chief hermitage is in Sedampur, on Raigat Lane. I am visiting my mother here only for a few days. Swami Sri Yukteswar's meditation temple, dedicated in 1977 on site of his ashram in Sedampur. Several bricks from the original ashram were used in its construction. These temple architecture is patterned after design by Padamhansa Yogananda. On the bottom picture, you can see here It's really interesting. They used to ride a motorcycle. Yogananda had a motorcycle. Yoganandaji in 1915 on a backseat of a motorcycle given by his father. I rode on it everywhere, he said, especially to visit my master Sri Yukteswarji in his Serampore hermitage. So, like, isn't that funny? He was just this holy monk riding a motorcycle in India. Could you imagine? What a magical time. Jai Guru Jai. I wondered at God's intricate play with his devotees. Serampore is but 12 miles from Calcutta, yet in those regions I had never caught a glimpse of my Guru. We had had to travel for our meeting to the ancient city of Kashi, Benares, hallowed by memories of Lahiri Mahashaya. Here too the feet of Buddha, Shankaracharya, and many other yogi Christs had blessed the soil. You will come to me in 4 weeks. For the first time, Sri Yukteswar's voice was stern. Now that I have told you of my eternal affection and have shown you my happiness at finding you, you feel free to disregard my request. The next time we meet, you shall have to reawaken my interest. I won't easily accept you as my disciple. There must be complete surrender by obedience to my strict training. I remained obstinately silent. My Guru quickly penetrated my difficulty. Do you think your relatives will laugh at you? What a magical time. Dude, it's so magical. I want to get through this right now, actually. There's such an intense... Like, this whole conversation right here is insane. And then, like, the paradoxical look at it. Like, do you see how harmoniously it starts? And then hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, it's not done yet. I remained obstinately silent. My Guru quickly penetrated my difficulty. Do you think your relatives will laugh at you? I will not return. You will return in 30 days. Never. The controversial tension unrelieved, I bowed reverently at his feet and departed. Walking in the midnight darkness toward the hermitage, I wondered why the miraculous meeting had ended in an inharmonious note. The dual scales of Maya that balance on an inharmonious note. The dual scales of Maya that balance every joy with grief. My young heart was not yet malleable to the transforming fingers of my Guru. The next morning I noticed increasing hostility in the attitude of my hermitage members. They spiked my days with invariable rudeness. 3 weeks passed. Dayananda had then left the ashram to attend a conference in Bombay. Pandemonium broke over my hapless head. Mukunda is a parasite accepting hermitage hospitality without making proper return. Overhearing this remark, I regretted for the first time that I had obeyed the request to send back my money to father. With heavy heart, I sought out my soul friend, Jitendra. I am leaving. Please convey my respectful regrets to Dayanandaji when he returns. I will leave also. My attempts to meditate here meet with no more favor than your own. Jitendra spoke with determination. I have met a Christ-like saint. Let us visit him in Serampore. And so the bird prepared to swoop perilously close to Calcutta. So this whole chapter, he finally he does what he thinks is right? He graduates high school, does what his father wishes, and then he overcomes this great obstacle, which is like to disobey your parents in India is like unforeseen. And he was leaving behind his father after his mother had passed away. He wasn't the eldest, but he was the second eldest son. So he had a lot of expectations on him, and he was leaving them all behind to find God. He made himself adamantine. He went and meditated for hours in the attic until he was crying. He finally heard a voice that it's like, this is what you need to do. Attachment to your family is not going to bring you closer to me. You have to be willing to let him go. And so he did. He let him go, and he went into this ashram, and people are just making fun of him the whole time. He's not doing what they expected him to do. They want him to do more physical labor and actual work, and he wants to meditate. He wants to find this inner pursuit of God. So he finally meets his Guru. And how does he meet him? After crying to God in meditation for hours, he's just weeping like, please, Lord, please, like, come on, like, let me find a way. I need to know through you or through a teacher sent by you. And then finally, a womanly divine voice comes to him from everywhere and nowhere at the same time, he says. And it says, your master cometh today. And then he instantly get a voice from somebody telling him, hey, let's go to the damn store. You know, you're being lazy. You've been meditating for hours there. Let's go. And he's like, okay. He's just wiping his tears. He goes down. And then the scene happens where he sees a holy man in an ochre robe. Swami Sri Yukteswar is over in some lane in the alleys over there, amongst these bazaar of Indian men and women and bullocks and it's a cluster of people selling and buying, and it's crazy. He's pushing through. He's holding his like burden of things and bags and groceries for the ashram. And then he sees him 3 times. He looks over once, twice, the third, and he's like, "What? I think I know him." Like it's he can't put his finger. He's like, "No, you calm down, dreamer. Keep walking. You're sad, whatever." And then as he's walking away, his feet go numb, and he can't walk anymore. And he notices that when he points in the other direction, his feet don't go numb anymore, and he's able to walk in that direction. Suddenly, his feet are moving on their own. He said like wing shod, which means that they have wings. Like Hermes. The Greek god Hermes, the messenger. He had the wings on him, carrying his feet across the thing, and they lead him to this narrow lane where he sees his guru, and he's like, anciently and instantly, from back in the day, from ancient times, instantaneously, I remembered, all the years of previous incarnations came to his mind. His guru couldn't even keep his voice still. He was like crying. He's like, "Finally, you've come to me, oh my own." All these memories that he had, thousands of memories came to him. Finally, he was holding a message that he didn't understand. It came to fruition there in the manifestation of his guru. So he's freaking out. He's crying. They're going to this silent ecstasy. They're not speaking for hours. And he finally says, like, he's walking with them hand in hand, which is normal in India. Okay, guys who are friends hold hands in India. That's the thing. They're holding hands, going by the Ganges, not speaking. They finally, hours pass by when he goes to his one of the ashrams there in Sedampur. And he says, "I'll give you everything. I'll give you all my buildings, all my hermitages, whatever you want. You can have it. I don't, And he's like, Yogananda's like, "I don't want that. I'm after your inner treasure troves. That's what I'm looking for." And so then another couple hours pass by before the sun goes down, the Indian twilight. And he speaks again. He's like, "I will give you my unconditional love." And then he's like, "Oh, such precious words." He's like, 25 years passed, a quarter of a century passed before I heard anything where he would ever explain his love to me in a verbal, in an auricular fashion. And it's like, it's such a beautiful moment. They're speaking, they're having this unbelievable, like, blissful ecstasy. And then suddenly, he's like, as they're talking, they finally talk. They're eating some food, having some sweetmeats and treats. He's weaving into his conversation a deep knowledge of his whole life. He knows about this amulet. He knows about his mother's passing. He knows about Benares and the Hermitage and all the problems he's been having meditating there. And he's saying, "Look, you're going to come with me. I'm going to take over for you. But in order to do that, you have to get a degree." He's like, "You need to go back to school and you need to go back to your family." And he's like, What? He's like, "No." He's like, "I just gave all that up." He's like, "You're telling me to go back to them? What are you talking about? Like, no way. Like, no, I'm not going to do it." He's like, he refuses. He's like, "I'll follow you anywhere, but I'm not going back to my house." Like, no way. He's remembering his older brother, Ananta, mocking him, saying like, "Go ahead, let him go off, Dad. He's going to go fling into the air, into the metaphysical skies. He's going to get tired and the little baby bird will come back home." And he's like, "No, like, no way." It's like every child's nightmare to go back to their parent and be like, have to hear their parents say, "I told you so." Their older brother tells you, like, "I told you so." And he's like, he's remaining quiet. He's not saying any of this stuff. He's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." And he's just being quiet. And his guru's like, "Do you think your relatives will laugh at you?" He's like, "I'm not going to return." It's like, he's like, "You're going to return in 30 days. He's like, "No, never." He's like, "Now give me your address so I can come back eventually and get in contact with you." And he gives him his address. He's like, "You're going to return in 30 days. And all this stuff is happening. 3 weeks pass by. He finally gets kicked out of he leaves the hermitage behind. He says, "This is not for me after all. These people will suck." He's like, "I found a Christ-like sage. I'm going to go towards him." And that's chapter 10. He finally met his guru. And it really is it's the dual scales of Maya. Just like they said, like everything. If you guys really analyze your life, look at the things that have happened. Every happy moment is paired with something sad. Every sad thing comes with something good. That's how this world works. It's nothing but dualities. It's how the whole universe works. It's how cause and effect occur. It's how, like, the atom stays in place as this negative and positive attraction. It's so perfect that it happens this way. It's so interesting. It's so fantastic. It's so it's not a coincidence, you know? It's perfectly orchestrated, so that way you can see it's like this beautiful, harmonious reunion of two long-lost best friend souls who have loved each other for millennia, deathless love, reunited, and then it ends with them saying, no, arguing. Like, oh my gosh, like it's hilarious. Yo, Pygmy, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. I'm reading to you if you want to read, if you want to listen. We're about to read a really insanely good chapter right now, actually. The Penniless Boys in Brindaban. This chapter's so good. It really adds like it makes me cry, dude. Like it's so good. I think you guys would love it. I just talk so much. Chapter 11. Two Penniless Boys in Brindaban. It would serve you right if father disinherited you, Mukunda. How foolishly you are throwing away your life. An elder brother's sermon was assaulting my ears. Jitendra and I, fresh from the train, a figure of speech merely, we were covered in dust, had just arrived at the home of Ananta, recently transferred from Calcutta to the ancient city of Agra. Brother was a supervising accountant for the public works department of the government. You well know, Ananta, I seek my inheritance from the Heavenly Father. Money first. God can come later. Who knows? Life may be too long. God first. Money is his slave. Who can tell? Life may be too short. My retort was summoned by the exigencies of the moment and held no presentiment. My retort was summoned by the exigencies of the moment and held no presentiment. Alas, Ananta's life did come to an early close. Oh. Wisdom from the hermitage, I suppose. But I see you have left Benares. Ananta's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. He was yet hoping to secure my pinions in the family nest. Wisdom, my sojourn in Benares was not in vain. I found there everything my heart has been longing for. You may be sure it was not your pundit or his son. Ananta joined me in reminiscent laughter. He had to admit that the Benares clairvoyant he had selected had proved a short-sighted one. What are your plans, my wandering brother? Jitendra persuaded me to Agra. We shall view the beauties of the Taj Mahal here, I explained. The world-famous mausoleum, the Taj Mahal, it's there in Agra. I explained. Then we are going to my newly found guru, who has a hermitage in Serampore. Ananta hospitably arranged for our comfort. Several times during the evening, I noticed his eyes fixed on me reflectively. I know that look, I thought. A plot is brewing. The denouement took place during our early breakfast. So you feel quite independent of father's wealth. Ananta's gaze was innocent as he resumed the barbs of yesterday's conversation. I am conscious of my dependence on God. Words are cheap. Life has shielded you thus far. What a plight if you were forced to look to the invisible hand for your food and shelter. You would soon be begging on the streets. Yes, hippie shit. Oh, hell yeah, Amber. What up, Amber Blue? Yes. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Guys, please check out Amber Blue. She's amazing. My favorite little veg from across the pond. We love our vegans from over yonder. I don't know why I said yonder. That's not British. I'm so sorry. I'm being racist again. Please check out Amber Blue. She's super nice, guys. I don't know why I said that. Oh my gosh, she's super great. Yeah, this is actually the reason why I went vegan, Amber. I read this book in like 2013, and then I instantly went vegetarian, and then 2014 I went vegan. This book fundamentally changed me, like, as a person. I was very much a very typical Western dude. Thanks so much for your donut last night, by the way. I appreciate it. Oh, no problem. I appreciate you. Sorry, I've been so busy. Like, the other day was Thanksgiving over here, so I raided into you. I was like, I'm so sorry, I have to go, and I want to hang out with you, but I had to go to my little festivities. And then yesterday, I was like, oh my god, I saw you were donating for the cats, and I was like, oh, I have to give money, but then I was also getting ready for work. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. You're a legend. Oh, wow. How interesting. Yeah, oh my god, I love this book so much. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It literally saved my life. How we do? Oh, Fluffy Joe Dog. Wow, smash. Oh, Wow, smash. Oh, excuse me? Pardon me? It's, oh, heavens. You're on the wrong side. Am I on the right app? No, I'm just kidding. Is it still Twitch? Am I logged in the right place? I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh, heavens. Oh, jeez. Good to see you, Fluffy. Thank you so much. Yeah, reading Autobiography Yogi. I go to his temples every Sunday, actually. I've been attending for years. I've been practicing Kriya Yoga meditation for the last, 8+ years. And I just feel like I try to keep this stuff separate from my other stuff streaming, and it's just been eating me alive. It's been really hurting me to do so. So it's I have to do this now, or else I won't be happy. And now it's been bringing me a lot of joy. So I hope you listen in. It's really, really good. We're talking about a really interesting part. I don't feel you keep it separate. It radiates from you. Okay, good. Whew. Good. Thank you. So he is now returning his ashram. He met his guru. His guru told him he's going to return in 30 days because he wasn't listening to him, and he's going to have to earn back his... Oh, thanks for the lurk, Monster. Interesting that you would choose those emotes during such a time. How appropriate, I guess. His guru explained he's going to have to return in 30 days. He's like, no, I'm not going to. He's being negative, and he's like, oh, well, I'm not going to be as nice to you the first time. He's like, okay, lurk. It's like... and so he's returning back home to Agra before... There, that's better. Whew. He returns back to Agra, and his brother is there, and he's giving him a hard time. He's like, you are only saying this stuff. It's rhetoric. It's not real. You need to be tested. Our father is rich. That's the only reason why you can say all this stuff. You've been protected this whole time. What if you had a real test? I am conscious of my dependence on God. Words are cheap. Life has shielded you thus far. What a plight if you were forced to look to the invisible hand for your food and shelter. You would soon be begging on the streets. Never. I would not put faith in passers-by rather than in God. He can devise 1,000 resources besides the begging bowl for his devotees. More rhetoric. Suppose I suggest that your vaunted philosophy be put to a test in this tangible world. I would agree. Do you confine God to a speculative world? We shall see. Today you shall have opportunity either to enlarge or to confirm my own views. Ananta paused for a dramatic moment, then spoke slowly and seriously. I propose that I send you and your fellow disciple Jitendra this morning to the nearby city of Brindaban. You must not take a single rupee. You must not beg, either for food nor money. You must not reveal your predicament to anyone. You must not go without your meals, and you must not be stranded in Brindaban. If you return to my bungalow here before 12 o'clock tonight, without having broken any rule of this test, I shall be the most astonished man in Agra. I accept the challenge. No hesitation was in my words or in my heart. Grateful memories flash in the grateful memories of the instant beneficence, my healing of deadly cholera through an appeal to Lahiri Mahashaya's picture, the playful gift of the 2 kites on the Lahore roof, the opportune amulet amidst my discouragement in Bareilly, the decisive message through the sadhu outside the courtyard of the Pandit's house in Benares, the vision of Divine Mother and her majestic words of love, her swift heed through Master Mahashaya to my trifling embarrassments, the last-minute guidance that had materialized my high school diploma, and the ultimate boon, my living master, from the mist of my lifelong dreams. Never would I admit my philosophy unequal to any tussle in the world's harsh proving grounds. Your willingness does you credit. I'll escort you to the train at once, Ananta said. He turned to the open-mouthed Jitendra. You must go along, as a witness, and very likely a fellow victim. A half-hour later, Jitendra and I were in possession of one-way tickets for the trip. We submitted in a secluded corner of the station to a search of our persons. Ananta was quickly satisfied that we were carrying no hidden hoard. Our simple dhotis concealed nothing more than was necessary. A dhoti cloth is knotted around the waist and covers the legs. It's just it's a typical Indian Hindu garb. Our simple dhotis concealed nothing more than was necessary. As faith invaded the serious realms of finance, my friend spoke protestingly. Ananta, give me 1 or 2 rupees as a safeguard. Then I can telegraph you in case of misfortune. Jitendra! My ejaculation was sharply reproachful. I will not proceed with this test if you take any money as final security. There is something reassuring about the clink of coins, Jitendra said, no more as I regarded him sternly. Mukunda, I am not heartless. A hint of humility had crept into Ananta's voice. It may be his conscience was smiting him, perhaps for sending 2 penniless boys to a strange city, perhaps for his own religious skepticism. If by any chance or grace you pass successfully through the Brindaban ordeal, I shall ask you to initiate me as your disciple. The promise had a certain irregularity, in keeping with the unconventional occasion. The eldest brother in an Indian family seldom bows before his juniors. He receives respect and obedience second only to a father. But no time remained for my comment. Our train was at a point of departure. Jitendra maintained a lugubrious silence as the train covered the miles. Finally, he bestirred himself. Leaning over, he pinched me painfully on a tender spot. I see no sign that God is going to supply our next meal. Be quiet, doubting Thomas. The Lord is working with us. Can you also arrange that he hurry? Already I am famished merely at the prospect before us. I left Benares to view the Taj Mausoleum, not to enter my own. Cheer up, Jitendra. Are we not to have our first glimpse of the sacred wonders of Brindaban? Brindaban by the Yamuna River is the Hindu Jerusalem. Here the avatar Lord Krishna displayed his glories for the benefit of mankind. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Sam. Appreciate you, dude. Guys, check out Sam. He's really, really nice. Super supportive guy. So Krishna, there's Jesus, there's Krishna. There's Krishna right there. He's usually denoted as blue. He's like the greatest avatar. He's like the Christ of India. And so Brindaban, the Holy Land, that's like the Holy Land of Hindus. Cheer up, Jitendra. Are we not to have our first glimpse of the sacred wonders of Brindaban? I am in deep joy at the thought of treading the ground hollowed by the feet of Lord Krishna. The door of our compartment opened. 2 men seated themselves. The next train stop would be the last. Yo-ho! Feed the tall boy! How you doing? Let me go yell at my dogs real quick, guys. Because they're barking at probably somebody delivering mail. Hey! Shh! Calm down! Shh! What's wrong with you? Shh! No running. Oh, yeah, now you run away. Shh! Stop it. Jeez Louise. Get him. Sorry, they heard Feed the Tall Boy and they got all triggered. I understand. Guys, check out Feed the Tall Boy. He's super, super duper nice. Spiritual Sundays, my man. Reading Autobiography of a Yogi. Left temple this morning in a delightful, uplifted mood. Trying to share some pleasures with others. Guys, please check out Feed the Tall Boy. Super nice guy. A family man. Yep, checks out. You see me yelling at my dogs? A spiritual man couldn't do that. That was a spiritual reprimand. Oh, now my dog wants to come in. Oh, you feel bad now, huh? Oh, nope, he ran away again. He's scared of me now. That's what I get. There's Finn. She's like, I'll sit here with you, Papa. Huh? You're gonna sit with me, baby? You gonna sit with me, baby? Yes, okay. You're gonna be my baby. You're my favorite today because you didn't bark. Huh? You're my favorite today because you didn't bark at anybody today. Thank you. Thank you for being a good girl. Nope, now she's gonna start crying. Okay. Joe's like, oh, good, pet. These pets are from Joe, Finn. This is probably how Joe pets dogs. Like Velcro. Okay. Cheer up, Jitendra. Are we not to have our first glimpse of the sacred wonders of Brindaban? I am in deep joy at the thought of treading the ground hollowed by the feet of Lord Krishna. The door of our compartment opened. 2 men seated themselves. The next train stop would be the last. Young lads, do you have friends in Brindaban? The stranger opposite me was taking a surprising interest. None of your business. Rudely, I averted my gaze. He's like, none of your business. You are probably flying away from your families under the enchantment of the stealer of hearts. Hari. So sometimes you hear this word, like you'll hear like Hari Krishna, Hari Ram. I would repeat this sometimes in the early times when I was doing chants and stuff. And I didn't really know what it meant. Hari literally translates to the stealer of hearts. Isn't that such a great name? The one who steals, takes away your love. You know, it's like once you find her, once you find him, once you find it, like nothing else compares. So these two men are like, you are probably flying away from your families under the enchantment of Hari, the stealer of hearts. I am of devotional temperament myself. I will make it my positive duty to see that you receive food and shelter from this overpowering heat. No, sir, let us alone. You are very kind, but you are mistaken in judging us to be truants from home. No further conversation ensued. The train came to a halt. As Jitendra and I descended to the platform, our chance companions linked arms with us and summoned a horse cab. We alit before a stately hermitage. Set amidst the evergreen trees of well-kept grounds, our benefactors were evidently known here. A smiling lad led us through without comment to a parlor. We were soon joined by an elderly woman of dignified bearing. Gari Ma. The princes could not come. One of the men... No. Why did my camera move so much? Gari Ma, the princes could not come. One of the men addressed the ashram hostess. At the last moment their plans went awry. They send deep regrets. But we have brought 2 other guests. As soon as we met on the train, I felt drawn to them as devotees of Lord Krishna. Goodbye, young friends. Our 2 acquaintances walked to the door. We shall meet again, if God be willing. You are welcome here, Gauri Ma smiled in motherly fashion. You could not have come on a better day. I was expecting 2 royal patrons of this hermitage. What a shame if my cooking had found none to appreciate it. The pleasant words had a surprising effect on Jitendra. He burst into tears. The prospect he had feared in Brindaban was turning out as royal entertainment. His sudden mental adjustment proved too much for him. Our hostess looked at him with curiosity, but without remark. Perhaps she was familiar with adolescent quirks. Lunch was announced. Gauri Ma led the way to a dining patio, spicy with savory odors. She vanished into an adjoining kitchen. I had been premeditating this moment, selecting the appropriate spot on Jitendra's body. I gave him a pinch as painful as the one he had given me on the train. Doubting Thomas, the Lord works. In a hurry, too. The hostess re-entered with a punka leaf. She steadily fanned us in the oriental fashion as we squatted on an ornate blanket seats. Ashram disciples passed to and fro with some 30 courses. Rather than meal, the description may be only sumptuous repast. Since arriving on this planet, Jitendra and I had never before tasted such delicacies. Dishes fit for princes indeed, honored mother. What your royal patrons could have found more urgent than attending this banquet, I cannot imagine. You have given us a memory for a lifetime. Silenced as we were by Ananta's requirement, we could not explain to the gracious lady that our thanks held a double significance. Our sincerity at least was patent. We departed with her blessing and an attractive invitation to revisit the hermitage. The heat outdoors was merciless. My friend and I made for the shelter of a lordly kadamba tree at the ashram gate. Sharp words followed. Once again Jitendra was beset with misgivings. A fine mess you have got me into. Our luncheon was only accidental good fortune. How can we see the sights of this city without a single pice between us? And how on earth are you going to take me back to Ananta's place? You forget God quickly, now that your stomach is filled. My words, not bitter, were accusatory. How short is human memory for divine favors. No man lives who has not seen some of his prayers granted. No man lives who has not seen some of his prayers granted. I am not likely to forget my folly in venturing out with a madcap like you. Be quiet, Jitendra. The same Lord who fed us will show us Brindaban and return us to Agra. A slight young man of pleasing countenance approached us at rapid pace. Halting under our tree, he bowed before me. Dear friend, you and your companion must be strangers here. Permit me to be your host and guide. It is scarcely possible for an Indian to pale. But Jitendra's face was suddenly sickly. I politely declined the offer. You are surely not banishing me? The stranger's alarm would have been comic in any other circumstance. Why not? You are my guru. His eyes sought mine trustfully. During my midday devotions, the blessed Lord Krishna appeared in a vision. He showed me 2 forsaken figures under this very tree. One face was yours, my master. Often have I seen it in meditation. What joy if you accept my humble services. I too am glad you have found me. Neither God nor man has forsaken us. Though I was motionless, smiling at the eager face before me, an inward obeisance cast me at the divine feet. Dear friends, will you not honor my home with a visit? You are kind, but the plan is unfeasible. Already we are guests of my brother in Agra. At least give me memories of touring Brindaban with you. I gladly consented. The young man, who said his name was Pratap Chatterjee, hailed a horse carriage. We visited Madana Mohana temple and other Krishna shrines. Night descended before we had finished our temple devotions. Excuse me while I get sandesh, or Indian sweetmeats. Pratap entered a shop near the railway station. Jitendra and I sauntered along the wide street, crowded now in the comparative coolness. Our friend was absent for some time, but finally returned with gifts of many sweetmeats. Please, allow me to gain this religious merit. Pratap smiled pleadingly as he held out a bundle of rupee notes and 2 tickets. Just purchase to Agra. The reverence of my acceptance was for the invisible hand, scoffed at by Ananta, had its bounty not far exceeded necessity. Oh my goodness. The reverence of my acceptance was for the invisible hand, had its bounty not far exceeded necessity. We sought out a secluded spot near the station. Pratap, I will instruct you in the Kriya of Lahiri Mahashaya, the greatest yogi in modern times. His technique will be your guru. The initiation was concluded in half an hour. Kriya is your Chintamani. It's a mythological gem with power to grant desires, also a name of God, Chintamani. I told the new student, the technique, which as you see is simple, embodies the art of quickening man's spiritual evolution. Hindu scriptures teach that the incarnating ego requires 1,000,000 years to obtain liberation from Maya. This natural period is greatly shortened through Kriya Yoga. Just as plant growth can be accelerated far beyond its normal rate, as Jagadish Chandra Bose has demonstrated, so man's psychological development also can be speeded by scientific means. Be faithful in your practice. You will approach the guru of all gurus. I am transported to find this yogic key. Long sought, Pratap spoke thoughtfully. Its unshackling effect on my sensory bonds will free me for higher spheres. The vision today of Lord Krishna could only mean my highest good. We sat a while in silent understanding, then walked slowly to the station. Joy was within me as I boarded the train. But this was Jitendra's day for tears. My affectionate farewell to Pratap had been punctuated by stifled sobs from both my companions. The journey once more found Jitendra as a welter of grief, not for himself this time, but against himself. How shallow my trust! My heart has been stone. Never in future shall I doubt God's protection. Midnight was approaching. The 2 Cinderellas sent forth penniless entered Ananta's bedroom, just as he had lightly predicted. His face was a study in astonishment. Silently, I showered a table with rupee notes. Jitendra, the truth! Ananta's tone was jocular. Has not this youngster been staging a hold-up? But as the tale was unfolded, my brother turned sober, then solemn. The law of demand and supply reaches into subtler realms than I had supposed. Ananta spoke with a spiritual enthusiasm never before noticeable. I understand for the first time your indifference to the vaults and vulgar accumulations of the world. Late as it was, my brother insisted that he receives Diksha into Kriya Yoga, a spiritual initiation from the Sanskrit root verb diksh, to dedicate oneself. The Guru, Mukunda, had to shoulder, in one night, the responsibility of 2 unsought disciples. Breakfast on the following day was eaten in a harmony that had been absent on the preceding morning. I smiled at Jitendra. You shall not be cheated of the Taj. Let us view it before starting for Serampore. Bidding farewell to Ananta, my friend and I were soon before the glory of Agra, the Taj Mahal, white marble dazzling in the sun. It stands a vision of pure symmetry. The perfect setting is dark with lace-like carvings inlaid with semi-precious stones. Delicate wreaths and scrolls emerge intricately from marbles, brown and violet. Illumination from the dome falls on the cenotaphs of Emperor Shah Jahan and Mumtaz-e Mahal, queen of this realm, and his heart. That's actually who it's named after, Mahal, Taj Mahal. Enough of sightseeing. I was longing for my guru. Jitendra and I were shortly traveling south by train toward Bengal. Mukunda, I have not seen my family in months. I have changed my mind. Perhaps later shall I visit your master in Serampore. Seth145. Howdy, everyone. I can't stay long. All good, Seth. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. I'm reading anyway. I'm not playing any games or anything. I'll be playing Wolong Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Playing this. But yeah, check out Seth, guys. He's been playing Red Dead. My friend, who may mildly be described as vacillating in temperament, left me in Calcutta. By local train, I soon reached Serampore, 12 miles to the north. A throb of wonderment stole over me as I realized that 28 days had elapsed since the Benares meeting with my guru. You will come to me in 4 weeks. Here, I was heart-pounding, standing within his courtyard on quiet Rai Ghat Lane. I entered for the first time the hermitage where I was to spend the best part of the next 10 years with India's Gyan Avatar, incarnation of wisdom. Oh, it's an ad. Perfect. Oh, God, I can drink some water. Jesus. Get a little more coffee, too. Ugh. Oh, 30 seconds. Welcome back. Sorry for the ads. Thank you for being here. What a wild chapter, right? Like, what? Like, oh my God. Like, what is going on? So his brother has been doubting him the whole time. You know, he's very much a materialist. And he's constantly saying, like, he's like, you're just, you know, he puts him to this test finally. And as soon as he gets on the train, he doesn't say anything to anybody. But it's like the second to last stop. And then these two men get on. And their last stop's going to be the last stop in Brindaban. And they're like, you must be running away from home. Under the enchantment of God, you know, under the enchantment of stealer of hearts. And they're like, no, what do you mean? They're not allowed to say anything. They're just, you know, they have to be beggars, you know, they're without a penny. And they immediately get sent, not just a handout of a plate of food. They get a royal treatment that was meant for like the princely chiefs and like the donators of this temple. Probably helped with the construction and built everything. And they had this giant meal, like a 30-course meal set up for these princes. They were like, we can't even call it a meal. It was called a sumptuous repast. Jitendra, who was doubting him the whole time, pinching him, saying like, where's the Lord? Where's the Lord now? Where is he going to provide your next meal? What's going on? And it's like, he starts bursting into tears. And then afterwards, he immediately eats, and then they go on. They go forward into, to go about the rest of their journey to visit Agra and to visit the holy land of Brindaban. And what happens when they're sitting underneath a tree meditating? They're like, God, like, calm down. Think about God for a little bit. And a boy comes who is like, I recognize you as my guru. He's like, I have to send you all over the place. He's like, let me please. Like, he's like, no. They're like, no. He's like, why? Would you really deny me? Like, what? And it's like, it's so sweet, you know? Like, it's so beautiful because it's like, man, so many times in my life, especially on the spiritual path, like, have I doubted so much. And like this part right here, like he says, has the invisible hand, if not for its beneficence, the reverence of my acceptance was for the invisible hand, had its bounty not far exceeded necessity. Had it not far need, like, oh my goodness, like if I had planned out things, if they had planned out this trip themselves, you know, it couldn't have gone as perfectly. The way I'm living now, my own life, it's very much done that way. If I could have planned it out, things weren't well for me, but if I would have planned it out another way, like, it couldn't have ended up as perfect as it is for me. And then what does Jitendra say after this whole thing, after this whole event, after being finally proven that, like, the Voltan Vulgar, as they said, of the world goes into subtler realms than we had expected? He says, how shallow my trust. My heart has been stone. Never in future shall I doubt God's protection. Like, man, it resonates so much with me. It's so beautiful. It's so sweet. What a good chapter. Don't you guys like that? Is that nice? Oh, good. You ate up a water bottle on my bed. And you want to be... Look at that. Look at what I see on my bed. Isn't that cool? Isn't that great? Thank you. She's like, you didn't yell at me today. So the prediction came at the end of the first chapter 10. Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar, you know, they argued. He didn't want to return home. He said, I'll go anywhere you say, Master, but I won't return there. He said, I'll do anything. I'll follow you anywhere, but I'm not going back home. And he was like, you will return home. And then you're going to return to me in 30 days. He's like, never. And so all this stuff happens, and 28 days has elapsed. 4 weeks has passed. This is such a good chapter. This is a long one. This will be the last one for today. Chapter 12. Years in my master's hermitage. You have come. Sri Yukteswar greeted me from a tiger skin on the floor of a balconied sitting room. His voice was cold. His manner unemotional. Yes, dear master, I am here to follow you. Kneeling, I touched his feet. How can that be? You ignore my wishes. No longer, Guruji. Your wish shall be my law. That is better. Now I can assume responsibility for your life. I willingly transfer the burden, master. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. Now I can assume responsibility for your life. I willingly transfer the burden, master. My first request, then, is that you return home to your family. I want you to enter college in Calcutta. Your education should be continued. Very well, sir. I hid my consternation. Would importune books pursue me down the years? First father, now Sri Yukteswar. Someday you will go to the West. Its people will be more receptive to India's ancient wisdom if the strange Hindu teacher has a university degree. You know best, Guruji. My gloom departed. The reference to the West I found puzzling, remote, but my opportunity to please master by obedience was vitally immediate. You will be near in Calcutta. Come here whenever you find time. Every day if possible, master. Gratefully, I accept your authority in every detail of my life. On one condition. Yes? That you promise to reveal God to me. An hour-long verbal tussle ensued. A master's word cannot be falsified. It is not lightly given. The implications in the pledge open out vast metaphysical vistas. A guru must be on intimate terms indeed with the Creator before he can obligate him to appear. I sensed Sri Yukteswar's divine unity and was determined, as his disciple, to press my advantage. You are of exacting disposition. Then master's consent rang out with compassionate finality. Let your wish be my wish. A lifelong shadow lifted from my heart. The vague search hither and yon was over. I had found eternal shelter in a true guru. Come, I will show you the hermitage. Master rose from his tiger mat. In glancing about, I noticed on a wall a picture that was garlanded with a spray of jasmine. Lahiri Mahashaya, I said in astonishment. Yes, my divine guru. Sri Yukteswar's tone was reverently vibrant. Greater he was a man and yogi than any other teacher whose life came within the range of my investigation. Silently, I bowed before the familiar picture. Sole homage sped to the peerless master who, blessing my infancy, had guided my steps to this hour. Led by my guru, I strolled about the house and its grounds. Large, ancient, and well built, the massive pillared hermitage surrounded a courtyard. Outer walls were moss-covered. Pigeons fluttered over the flat gray roof, unceremoniously sharing the ashram quarters. A rear garden was pleasant with jackfruit, mango, and plantain trees. Balustraded balconies of upper rooms in the two-storied building faced the courtyard from three sides. A spacious ground floor hall with high ceilings supported by colonnades was used, Master said, chiefly during the annual festivities of Durag Puja, worship of Durga. This is the chief festival of the Bengali almanac. A narrow stairway led to Sri Yukteswar's sitting room, whose small balcony overlooked the street. The ashram was plainly furnished. Everything was simple, clean, and utilitarian. Several Western-style chairs, benches, and tables were in evidence. Master invited me to stay overnight. A supper of vegetable curry was served by 2 young disciples who were receiving hermitage training. Guruji, please, tell me something of your life. I was squatting on a straw mat near his tiger skin. The friendly stars were very close, it seemed, beyond the balcony. My family name was Priya Nath Karar. I was born here in Serampore, where father was a wealthy businessman. He left me this ancestral mansion, now my hermitage. My formal schooling was little. I found it slow and shallow. In early manhood, I undertook the responsibilities of a householder and have 1 daughter, now married. My middle life was blessed with the guidance of Lahiri Mahashaya. After my wife died, I joined the Swami order and received the new name of Sri Yukteswar Giri. Such are my simple annals. Sri Yukteswar Giri, Yukteswar means united to Ishwara, a name of God. Giri is the classificatory distinction of one of the 10 ancient Swami branches. Shri means holy. It is not a name, but a respectful title. So you see Shri Paramahansa Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar, it just means holy. It's a respectful title. So, holy union with God, and he's part of the Giri branch, which is the mountains. Okay. Master smiled at my eager face. Like all biographical sketches, his words had given the outward facts without revealing the inner man. Guruji, I would like to hear some of your stories of your childhood. I will tell you a few, each one with a moral. Sri Yukteswar's eyes twinkled with his warning. My mother once tried to frighten me with an appalling story of a ghost in a dark chamber. I went there immediately and expressed my disappointment at having missed the ghost. Mother never told me another horror tale. Moral, look fear in the face. It will cease to trouble you. Another early memory is my wish for an ugly dog belonging to a neighbor. I kept my household in turmoil for weeks to get that dog. My ears were deaf to offers of pets with more prepossessing appearance. Moral, attachment is blinding. It lends an imaginary halo of attractiveness to the object of desire. A third story concerns the plasticity of the youthful mind. I heard my mother remark occasionally, a man who accepts a job under anyone is a slave. That impression became so indelibly fixed that even after my marriage I refused all positions. I met expenses by investing my family endowment in land. Moral, good and positive suggestions should instruct the sensitive ears of children. Their early ideas long remain sharply etched. Master fell into tranquil silence. Around midnight, he led me to a narrow cot. Sleep was sound and sweet the first night under my guru's roof. Sri Yukteswar chose the following morning to grant me his Kriya Yoga initiation, the technique I had already received from 2 disciples of Lahiri Mahashaya, father and my tutor, Swami Kebalananda. But Master possessed a transforming power. At his touch, a great light broke upon my being, like the glory of countless suns blazing together. A flood of ineffable bliss overwhelmed my heart to an innermost core. It was late. Oh my God, thank you, Q. Appreciate the sub, man. Wow, 1 year? Jesus Christ, where did the time go? Appreciate you, man. Love you, dude. What a time. What a magical time. Please check out Q, guys. Super amazing person. Amazing Q. Master fell into a flood of ineffable bliss overwhelmed my heart to an innermost core. It was late in the afternoon of the following day before I could bring myself to leave the hermitage. You will return in 30 days. As I entered the door of my Calcutta home, the fulfillment of Master's prediction entered with me. None of my relatives made the pointed remarks I had feared about the reappearance of the soaring bird. I climbed to my little attic and bestowed affectionate glances as though on a living person. You have witnessed my meditations and the tears and storms of my sadhana. Now I have reached the harbor of my divine teacher. Son, I am happy for us both. Father and I sat together in the evening calm. You have found your guru. as in miraculous fashion I once found my own. The holy hand of Lahiri Mahashaya is guarding our lives. Your master has proved to be no inaccessible Himalayan saint, but one nearby. My prayers have been answered. In your search for God, you have not been permanently removed from my sight. Father was also pleased that my formal studies would be resumed. He made suitable arrangements. I was enrolled the following day at nearby Scottish Church College in Calcutta. Happy months sped by. My readers have doubtless made the perspicacious surmise that I was little seen in the college classrooms. The Serampore hermitage held a lure too irresistible. Master seldom referred to the halls of learning. Though it was plain to all that I was never cut out for a scholar, I managed to attain minimum passing grades from time to time. Daily life at the ashram flowed smoothly. Infrequently varied, my guru awoke before dawn. Lying down or sometimes sitting on the bed, he entered a state of samadhi. Samadhi, literally to direct together. Samadhi is a blissful, superconscious state in which a yogi perceives the identity of the individualized soul and cosmic spirit. My dog is so into me right now. It's crazy. She will not leave my side. Lying down or sometimes sitting on the bed, he entered a state of samadhi. It was simplicity itself to discover when Master had awakened. Abruptly halt of stupendous snores. Snoring, according to physiologists, is an indication of perfect relaxation. Oh, a sigh or two, perhaps a bodily movement, then a soundless state of breathlessness. No, you hear that cue? A bodily movement? Then a soundless state of breathlessness. He was in a deep yogic joy. Breakfast did not follow. First came a long walk by the Ganges. Those morning strolls with my guru, how real and vivid still. In those morning strolls in the easy resurrection of memory, I often find myself by his side. The early sun is warming the river. His voice rings out, rich with the authenticity of wisdom. A bath, then the midday meal. Its preparation, according to Master's daily directions, had been the careful task of young disciples. My guru was a vegetarian. Before embracing monkhood, however, he had eaten eggs and fish. Oh, okay, so they don't eat eggs. His advice to students was to follow any simple diet which proved suited to one's constitution. Master ate little, often rice, colored with turmeric or juice of beets or spinach and lightly sprinkled with buffalo ghee or melted butter. Another day he might have lentil dal or chana. Dal or chana. Dal is a thick soup made from split peas or other pulses. Chana is a cheese of fresh milk, curdled, often cubed and curried with potatoes. Another day he might have lentil dal or chana curry with vegetables. For dessert, mangoes or oranges with rice pudding or jackfruit rice. Visitors appeared in the afternoons. A steady stream poured from the world into the tranquil hermitage. My guru treated all... Sorry, this dog is scratching over there. My guru treated all guests with courtesy and kindness. A master, one who has realized himself as the omnipresent soul, not the body or the ego, perceives in all men a striking similarity. The impartiality of saints is rooted in wisdom. They are no longer influenced by the alternating faces of Maya, no longer subject to the likes and dislikes that confuse the judgment of unenlightened men. Sri Yukteswar showed no special consideration to those who were powerful, rich, or accomplished. Neither did he slight others for their poverty or illiteracy. He would listen respectfully to words of truth from a child, and on occasion would openly ignore a conceited pundit. 8 o'clock was the supper hour, and sometimes found lingering guests. My guru would not excuse himself to eat alone. None left his ashram hungry or dissatisfied. Sri Yukteswar was never at a loss. Never dismayed by unexpected visitors. Under his resourceful directions to the disciples, scanty food would emerge a banquet. Yet he was economical. His modest funds went far. Be comfortable within your purse, he often said. Extravagance will bring you discomfort. Whether in the details of hermitage entertainment or of building and repair work, or of other practical concerns, Master manifested the originality of a creative spirit. Quiet evening hours often brought one of my guru's discourses, treasures against time. His every utterance was chiseled by wisdom. His sublime self-assurance marked his mode of expression. It was unique. He spoke as none other in my experience ever spoke. His thoughts were weighed in a delicate balance of discrimination before he permitted them the outward garb of speech. The essence of truth, all pervasive with even a physiological aspect, came from him like a fragrant exudation of the soul. I was conscious always that I was in the presence of a living manifestation of God. The weight of his divinity automatically bowed my head before him. My goodness. The weight of his divinity automatically bowed my head before him. If guests detected that Sri Yukteswar was becoming engrossed with the infinite, he quickly engaged them in conversation. He was incapable of striking a pose or of flaunting his inner withdrawal. Always one with the Lord, he needed no separate time for communion. A self-realized master has already left behind the stepping stone of meditation. The flower falls when the fruit appears. But saints often cling to spiritual forms in order to set an example for disciples. As midnight approached, my guru might fall into a doze with the naturalness of a child. There was no fuss about bedding. He often lay down without even a pillow on a narrow davenport which was the background for his customary tiger-skin seat. A night-long philosophical discussion was not rare. Any disciple could summon it by intensity of interest. I felt no tiredness then, no desire for sleep. Master's living words were sufficient. "Oh, it is dawn. Let us walk by the Ganges." So ended many of my periods of nocturnal edification. My early months with Sri Yukteswar culminated in a useful lesson. How to outwit a mosquito. At home, my family always used protective curtains at night. I was dismayed to discover that in the Serampore hermitage, this prudent custom was honored in the breach. Yet the insects were in full residence. I was bitten from head to foot. My guru took pity on me. "Buy yourself a curtain, and also one for me," he laughed and added. "If you buy only one for yourself, all the mosquitoes will concentrate on me." I was more than thankful to comply. On every night that I spent in Serampore, my guru would ask me to arrange the bedtime curtains. One night, when a cloud of mosquitoes surrounded us, Master failed to issue his usual instructions. I listened nervously to the anticipatory hum of the insects. Getting into bed, I threw a propitiatory prayer in their general direction. Jeez. A half hour later, I coughed pretentiously to attract my guru's attention. I thought I would go mad with the bites, and especially the singing drone as the mosquitoes celebrated bloodthirsty rites. No responsive stir from Master. I approached him, cautiously. He was not breathing. This was my first close observation of him in the yogic trance. It filled me with fright. His heart must have failed. I placed a mirror under his nose. No breath vapor appeared. To make doubly certain, for minutes, I closed his mouth and nostrils with my fingers. His body was cold and motionless. In a daze, I turned toward the door to summon help. "So, a budding experimentalist! My poor nose!" Master's voice was shaky with laughter. "Why don't you go to bed? Is the whole world going to change for you? Change yourself. Be rid of the mosquito consciousness. We're not going to bark. Shh. No. You're not barking just because Augie barks. Why don't you go to bed? Is the whole world going to change for you? Change yourself. Be rid of the mosquito consciousness." Meekly, I returned to my bed. Not one insect ventured near. I realized that my guru had previously agreed to the curtains only to please me. He had no fear of mosquitoes. By yogic power, he could prevent them from biting him, Or if he chose, he could escape to an inner invulnerability. He was giving me a demonstration, I thought. That is the yogic state I must strive to attain. A true yogi is able to pass into... Jeez Louise. A true yogi is able to pass into and maintain the superconscious state, regardless of multitudinous distractions, never absent from this earth. The buzz of insects, the pervasive glare of daylight. In the first state of samadhi, sabikalpa, the devotee shuts off all sensory testimony of the outer world. He is rewarded then by sounds and scenes of inner realms fairer than the pristine Eden. There's a footnote here, and it reads, the omnipresent powers of a yogi, whereby he sees, tastes, smells, touches, and hears, without the use of outward sensory organs, have been described as follows in Taittiriya Adanyaka. The blind man pierced the pearl, the fingerless put a thread through it, the necklace wore it, and the tongueless praised it. The instructive mosquitoes served for another early lesson in the ashram. It was the gentle hour of dusk. My guru was matchlessly interpreting the ancient texts. At his feet, I was in perfect peace. A rude mosquito entered the idol and competed for my attention. As it dug a poisonous hypodermic needle into my thigh, I automatically raised an avenging hand. Reprieved from impending execution, an opportune memory had come to me of Patanjali's aphorism on ahimsa, or harmlessness. Harmlessness is, in the presence of a man perfected in ahimsa, or nonviolence, enmity in any creature does not arise. Enmity in any creature does not arise. So he raises his hand and he's about to strike and he stops and he says, "What? And yoga, why didn't you finish the job? Master, do you advocate taking life?" "No, but in your mind, you'd already struck the death blow." "I don't understand." By ahimsa, Patanjali meant removal of the desire to kill. Sri Yukteswar had found my mental processes an open book. This world is inconveniently arranged for a literal practice of ahimsa. Man may be compelled to exterminate harmful creatures. He is not under a similar compulsion to feel anger or animosity. All forms of life have an equal right to the air of Maya. The saint who uncovers the secret of creation will be in harmony with nature's countless bewildering expressions. All men may understand this truth by overcoming the passion for destruction. Guruji, should one offer himself a sacrifice rather than kill a wild beast? No. Man's body is precious. It has the highest evolutionary value because of unique brain and spinal centers. These enable the advanced devotee fully to grasp and express the loftiest aspects of divinity. No lower form is so equipped. It is true that a man incurs the debt of a minor sin if he is forced to kill an animal or any other living thing. But the holy Shastras teach that wanton loss of a human body is a serious transgression against the karmic law. I sighed in relief. Scriptural reinforcement of one's natural instincts is not always forthcoming. Master, so far as I know, I was never at close quarters with a leopard or a tiger, but a deadly cobra once confronted him, only to be conquered by his love. The encounter took place in Puri, where my guru had a seaside hermitage. Prafulla, a young disciple of Sri Yukteswar's years later, was with Master on this occasion. We were seated outdoors near the ashram, Prafulla told me. A cobra appeared nearby, a 4-foot length of sheer terror. Its hood was angrily expanded as it raced towards us. Jesus, 4 feet, Jesus. Master gave a welcoming chuckle, as though to a child. I was filled with consternation to see Sri Yukteswarji engage in a rhythmical clapping of hands. The footnote by the clapping of hands reads, "The cobra swiftly strikes at any moving object within its range. In most cases, the complete immobility is one's sole hope of safety. The cobra is much feared in India, where it causes annually about 5,000 deaths." Jeez Louise. I was filled with consternation to see Sri Yukteswarji engaged in a rhythmical clapping of hands. He was entertaining the dread visitor. I remained completely quiet, inwardly ejaculating fervent prayers. The serpent, very close to Master, was now motionless. Seemingly magnetized by his caressing attitude, the frightful hood gradually contracted. The snake slithered between Sri Yukteswarji's feet and disappeared into the bushes. Why Master would move his hands and why the cobra would not strike them were inexplicable to me then, Prafalu concluded. I have since then come to realize that our divine Guru is beyond fear of hurt from any creature. One afternoon, during my early months at the ashram, I found Sri Yukteswar's eyes fixed on me piercingly. "You are too thin, Mukunda." His remark struck a sensitive point. My sunken eyes and emaciated appearance were not to my liking. Chronic dyspepsia had afflicted me since childhood. Many bottles of tonic stood on a shelf in my room at home. None had helped me. Occasionally I would sadly ask myself if life were worthwhile with a body so unsound. Medicines have limitations. The divine creative life force has none. Believe that. You shall be well and strong. Master's words instantly convinced me that I could successfully apply their truth in my own life. No other healer, and I had tried many, had been able to arouse in me such profound faith. Day by day I waxed in health and strength. Through Sri Yukteswar's hidden blessing, in 2 weeks, I gained the weight that I had vainly sought in the past. My stomach ailments vanished permanently. On later occasions, I was privileged to witness my Guru's divine healings of persons suffered from diabetes, epilepsy, tuberculosis, or paralysis. Years ago, I, too, was anxious to put on weight. Master told me shortly after he had healed me. During convalescence after a severe illness, I visited Lahiri Mahashaya in Benares. "Sir," I said, "I have been very sick and have lost many pounds." So there's a story, he's reminiscing now. Sri Yukteswar is saying, far right, Sri Yukteswar is now telling Yogananda a story of when he was his guru, Lahiri Mahashaya, there on the far left, I think, for you guys, right? Far left. So Lahiri Mahashaya, he's like, when I was about your age, I also was very thin. In India, it's attractive to be heavy, right? Because everybody's starving. A lot of people are starving over there. So what's attractive is the opposite. The heavier you are, the more attractive you are. In America, in the West, there's so much food everywhere. No one starves, that heaviness is seen as unattractive, and the opposite is seen as attractive. Being lean, and skinny and fit. That's attractive here. We're all secretly searching for this opposite. So now he's telling Sri Yukteswar is now stealing this, reminding him of a story from his youth. "Years ago, I too was anxious to put on weight," Master told me shortly after he had healed me. "During convalescence after a severe illness, I visited Lahiri Mahashaya in Benares. 'Sir,' I said, 'I have been very sick and have lost many pounds.' 'I see, Yukteswar. You made yourself unwell, and now you think you are thin.' This reply was far from the one I had expected. My guru, however, added encouragingly, 'Let me see. I am sure you ought to feel better tomorrow.' My receptive mind accepted his words as a hint that he was secretly healing me. The next morning I sought him out and exclaimed exultingly, 'Sir, I feel much better today.' 'Indeed, today you are invigorating yourself.' 'No, Master,' I protested. 'It is you who have helped me. This is the first time in weeks I have had any energy.' 'Oh, yes, your malady has been quite serious. Your body is frail yet. Who can say how it will be tomorrow?' The thought of a possible return of my weakness brought me a shudder of cold fear. The following morning I could hardly drag myself to Lahiri Mahashaya's home. 'Sir, I am ailing again.' My guru's glance was quizzical. 'So, once more you indisposed yourself.' My patience was exhausted. 'Guru Deva,' I said, 'I realize now that day by day you have been ridiculing me. I don't understand why you disbelieve my truthful reports.' 'Really, it has been your thoughts that have made you feel alternately weak and strong.' My guru looked at me affectionately. You have seen how your health has exactly followed your subconscious expectations. Thought is a force, even as electricity or gravitation. The human mind is a spark of the almighty consciousness of God. I could show you that whatever your powerful mind believes very intensely would instantly come to pass. Knowing that Lahiri Mahashaya never spoke idly, I addressed him with great awe and gratitude. Master, if I think I am well, and that I have regained my former weight, shall those things come to pass? It is so, even at this instant. My Guru spoke gravely. His gaze concentrated on my eyes. I instantly felt an increase not only of strength, but of weight. Lahiri Mahashaya retreated into silence. After a few hours at his feet, I returned to my mother's house, where I stayed during my visits to Benares. My son, what is the matter? Are you swelling with dropsy? Mother could hardly believe her eyes. My body was now as full and robust as it had been before my illness. I weighed myself and found that in one day I had gained 50 pounds. They have remained permanently. Friends and acquaintances who have seen my thin figure were overcome with amazement. A number of them changed their mode of life and became disciples of Lahiri Mahashaya as a result of this miracle. My Guru, awake in God, knew this world to be nothing but an objectivized dream of the Creator. Because he was completely aware of his unity with the divine dreamer, Lahiri Mahashaya could materialize or dematerialize or make any other change he wished in the dream atoms of the phenomenal world. The footnote here reads, What things soever ye desires, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Mark 11:24. God-united masters are fully able to transform their divine realizations to advanced disciples, as Lahiri Mahashaya did for Sri Yukteswar on this occasion. All creation is governed by law, Sri Yukteswar concluded. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. These principles are knowable through the science of yoga. It is not the physicist, but the self-realized master who comprehends the true nature of matter by... My God, it is not the physicist, but the self-realized master who comprehends the true nature of matter. By such knowledge, Christ was able to restore the servant's ear after it had been severed by one of the disciples. And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. And Jesus answered and said, Suffer ye thus far. And he touched his ear and healed him. Luke 22:50-51. My Guru was a peerless interpreter of the scriptures. Many of my happiest memories are centered in his discourses. But his jeweled thoughts were not cast into the ashes of heedlessness or stupidity. One restless movement of my body, or my slight lapse into absent-mindedness, would suffice to put an abrupt period to Master's exposition. You are not here, Sri Yukteswar interrupted himself one afternoon with this observation. As usual, he was keeping relentless track of my attention. Guruji, Guruji, my tone was a protest. I have not stirred. My eyelids have not moved. I can repeat each word you have uttered. Nevertheless, you are not fully with me. Your objection forces me to remark that in your mental background, you are creating 3 institutions. One was a Sylvian retreat on a plain, another on a hilltop, still another by the ocean. Those vaguely formulated thoughts had indeed been present almost subconsciously. I glanced at him apologetically. Yo, We Go Boom Gaming, how you doing, buddy? Oh, good, you got the daily hash brown, thank you, God. Good to see you, man, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Doing Spiritual Sundays over here, bud. Reading Autobiography Yogi. I'm in vertical mode and it looks nice. Oh, nice, huh? You like that? Like that? You like the little cheap little light I got set up right here? It's tape. This is my TV. That's where I stream my stream manager at. This is my room. These are my gurus. That's my dog's blankets that they've been messing with. And that's Finn, even though she messed with the blankets. Now she's at my feet. That's true. So far, so good, man. I'm mainly... Noise. I'm just reading Autobiography of Yogi. I'm on chapter 12. He's reading about his years. Seems very chill. Oh, you're chill. It's not much. It's reading about his years in his master's hermitage, and he's just describing like his guru's nature and such, and it's super interesting. I attend these this temple, Autobiography Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda's. I went there this morning. I go there like almost every Sunday, and yeah, I've been reading his autobiography on stream on Sundays afterwards. And yeah, if you want to hang around, buddy, please feel free to. Yeah, not that go back to gaming Monday through Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. We Go Boom Gaming, guys. Check them out. Great people. It's interesting how we met. Nice. I did catch a little of your last Sunday stream. Okay, cool. You're familiar. Great. All right. I don't have to keep recapping this all the time. This is the last time I'm doing this recap. I expect you to remember. I'll be asking questions at the end. It's getting super spiritual. It's getting super spiritual, super, very, very metaphysical, getting really weird. So be ready. Those vaguely formulated thoughts had indeed been present, almost subconsciously. I glanced at him apologetically. What can I do with such a master? One who penetrates my random musings. You have given me that right. The subtle thoughts I am expounding cannot be grasped without your complete concentration. Unless necessary, I do not invade the seclusion of others' minds. Man has the natural privilege of roaming secretly among his thoughts. The unbidden Lord does not enter there. Neither do I venture intrusion. You are ever welcome, Master. Your architectural dreams will materialize later. Now is the time for study. Thus, incidentally, in his simple way, my guru revealed his knowledge of the coming of 3 important events in my life. Since early youth, I had enigmatic glimpses of 3 buildings, each in a different setting, in the exact sequence Sri Yukteswar had indicated. These visions took ultimate form. First came my founding of a boys' yoga school on a plain in Ranchi, then an American headquarters on Los Angeles Hilltop, and then a hermitage in Encinitas, California, overlooking the vast Pacific. That's over here. Quiz tomorrow morning. I hope you're ready, man. Hope you're taking notes. Master never arrogantly said, I prophesize that such and such an event shall occur. He would rather hint, don't you think it may happen? But his simple speech hid Vatic power. There was no recanting. Never did his slightly veiled predictions prove false. Sri Yukteswar was reserved and matter-of-fact in demeanor. There was naught of the vague or draught visionary about him. His feet were firm on the earth, his head in the heaven of heavens. Practical people aroused his admiration. Saintliness is not dumbness. Divine perceptions are not incapacitating, he would say. The active expression of virtue gives rise to the keenest intelligence. I repeat that all the time. Saintliness is not dumbness. Divine perceptions are not incapacitating. My guru was reluctant to discuss the superphysical realms. His only marvelous aura was that of perfect simplicity. In conversation, he avoided startling references. In action, he was freely expressive. Many teachers talked of miracles, but could manifest nothing. Sri Yukteswar seldom mentioned the subtle laws, but secretly operated them at will. A man of realization does not perform any miracle until he receives an inward sanction, Master explained. God does not wish the secrets of his creation revealed promiscuously. The footnote here reads, Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you. Master 7:6. Never cast your pearls before swine. Isn't that good? Master explained, God does not wish the secrets of his creation revealed promiscuously. Also, every individual in the world has an inalienable right to his free will. A saint will not encroach on that independence. The silence habitual to Sri Yukteswar was caused by his deep perceptions of the infinite. No time remained for the interminable revelations that occupy the days of teachers without self-realization. No time remained for the interminable revelations that occupy the days of teachers without self-realization. A saying from the Hindu scriptures is, "In shallow men, the fish of little thoughts cause much commotion. In oceanic minds, the whales of inspiration make hardly a ruffle." Because of my guru's unspectacular guise, only a few of his contemporaries, recognized him as a superman. The adage, "He is a fool that cannot conceal his wisdom," can never be applied to my profound and quiet master. Though born a mortal like all others, Sri Yukteswar achieved identity with the ruler of time and space. Master found no insuperable obstacle to the mergence of human and divine. My puppy, huh? No such barrier exists, I came to understand, save in man's spiritual unadventurousness. I always thrilled at the touch of Sri Yukteswar's holy feet. A disciple is spiritually magnetized by reverent contact with a master. A subtle current is generated. The devotee's undesirable habit mechanisms in the brain are often as if cauterized. The grooves of his worldly tendencies are beneficially disturbed. Momentarily, at least, he may find the secret veils of Maya lifting, and glimpse the reality of bliss. My whole body responded with a liberating glow whenever I knelt in the Indian fashion before my guru. Even when Lahiri Mahashaya was silent, Master told me, or when he conversed with other than strictly religious topics, I discovered that nonetheless he transmitted to me ineffable knowledge. Sri Yukteswar affected me similarly. If I entered the hermitage in a worried or indifferent frame of mind, my attitude imperceptibly changed. A healing calm descended at the mere sight of my guru. Each day with him was a new experience in joy, peace, and wisdom. Never did I find him deluded or emotionally intoxicated with greed, anger, or human attachment. The darkness of Maya is silently approaching. Let us hie homeward within. With these cautionary words, Master constantly reminded his disciples of their need for Kriya Yoga. A new student occasionally expressed doubts regarding his own worthiness to engage in yoga practice. "Forget the past," Sri Yukteswar would console him. "The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shames. Human conduct is ever unreliable until man is anchored in the divine. Everything in future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now." Master always had young chelas or disciples in his ashram. Their intellectual and spiritual education was his lifelong interest. Even shortly before he passed on, he accepted as hermitage residents 2 6-year-old boys and a youth of 16. All those in his charge were carefully trained. Disciple and discipline are etymologically and practically related. The ashram residents loved and revered their guru. A slight clap of his hand sufficed to bring them eagerly to his side. When his mood was silent and withdrawn, no one ventured to speak. When his laugh rang jovially, children looked upon him as their own. Sri Yukteswar seldom asked others to render him a personal service, nor would he accept a chela's help unless it was offered cheerfully. Master himself would wash his clothes if the disciples forgot the privileged task. Oh, an ad. Dang. I'm going to go run to the restroom real quick. BRB. Ad break. Sorry. Stash, how could you? You walk away, you wait until I go to the restroom, and then you run away? How dare you? You wait for ads, then you come in here, you beautiful son of a gun. Guys, check out Stash. He's a really good streamer. He's super cool. He's very nice. He's very supportive. He's handsome, and he's strong, and he looks like he can probably carry a bunch of weight on his shoulders. I've seen him do push-ups. Good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. All the lurkers and stuff. Anybody who's here. If you guys come in and don't say a word, I know some of this stuff is super out there and weird, and I appreciate you guys just hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 100,000 times. We're almost done, I swear. So we were saying Sri Yukteswar seldom asked others to render him a personal service, nor would he accept a chela's help unless it was offered cheerfully. Master himself would wash his clothes if the disciples forgot the privileged task. Richie, oh, hell yeah, brother. Oh, Richie, oh my God, thank you so much for the biddies. I really appreciate you. You're so nice. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Everybody be like Richie, huh? Give me money. No, just kidding. Thank you so much, Richie. I really appreciate it. Guys, please check out Richie. He's like super, super cool. Really good streamer. Late night streamer. He works very hard. Hard working modern day woman. You have been streaming so long today. Have I? Dude, it's so weird. This stream, 2 hours? Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it, honestly. I just realized it's like the third ad break. I was like, damn, really? Like, when did this happen? I love this. These chapters are so good. Like chapter 10, where he finally meets his guru, is such a great chapter. Chapter 11, the two penniless boys. And now chapter 12 is a long chapter. This is going to be the last one. But it's him describing his guru and his years in his guru's hermitage. And it's just so... It's so good. It's so amazing. It's so sweet. And it gives such a personal look into such an enigmatic thing, which is like the lives of these Hindu saints who stay hidden from the masses of the world. Time sucks. I'm somewhat upset I'm missing this, but you have started this audiobook. But you've started the audiobook. I actually, you know what? I have a YouTube that I forget all about, and I uploaded all the other ones on YouTube if you wanted to check it out. They're all up there. So I need to do a better job of like making my YouTube stuff, and I need to hit up Topslayer to edit my stuff so I get more people looking over there. But yeah, I have a YouTube as well. Check out my YouTube. The previous ones are in there. Yes. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. They use words that I've never heard of before. Okay, YouTube. He's like, I'll be real with you. I've never heard something. Dude, let me know. This book, it's so amazing because, like, dude, these guys are Indian monks. You know, these guys are Indians. They don't speak English. You know, I mean, they speak English. They're fluent in English. And that's what's amazing to me. They were born Bengali. You know, they were born speaking Bengali symbols. And look at how they have a mastery over the English language that I don't even have. This is the only language I know. It's like, my goodness. Like, Sri Yukteswar was saying it earlier. He's like, saintliness is not dumbness. The keenness of intellects, just the opposite. That is what is attractive. That is the only way one can perceive and enjoy the highest levels of divinity. And it's so good. Such a saint. Sri Yukteswar, he was called the Gyan Avatar, an incarnation of wisdom. And now, it's just a description. Look into this. His usual garment was the traditional ochre-colored Swami robe. For indoor use, he wore laceless shoes that had been made in accordance with yogi custom of tiger or deerskin. Sri Yukteswar spoke fluent English, French, Bengali, and Hindi. His Sanskrit was fair. He patiently instructed his young disciples by certain shortcuts that he had ingeniously devised for the study of English and Sanskrit. Master was not solicitously attached to his body, but he was cautious of it. The divine, he pointed out, is properly manifested through physical and mental soundness. He discountenanced all extremes. To a disciple who wanted to fast for a long period, my guru said laughingly, "Why not throw the dog a bone?" The footnote reads, my guru approved of fasting as the ideal natural cleansing method, but that particular disciple was overly preoccupied with his body. Why not throw the dog a bone? Sri Yukteswar's health was excellent. I never saw him unwell. There's a footnote here. He was once ill in Kashmir when I was absent from him. Oh, okay, there's a footnote there. Sri Yukteswar was excellent. I never saw him unwell. To show respect for a worldly custom, he permitted his students, if they wished, to consult doctors. Physicians, he said, should carry on their work of healing through God's laws as applied to matter. But he extolled the superiority of mental therapy and often repeated, "Wisdom is the greatest cleanser." He told his chelas, "The body is a treacherous friend. Give it its due, nothing more." Oh. Pain and pleasure are transitory. Endure all dualities with calmness, trying at the same time to remove yourself beyond their power. Imagination is the door through which disease as well as healing enters. Disbelieve in the reality of sickness, even if you are ill, as an unrecognized visitor will flee. Master numbered many doctors among his disciples. Those who have studied physiology should go further and investigate the science of the soul, he told them. A subtle spiritual structure is hidden just beyond the bodily mechanism. And then what's amazing here is not just these insane notes and this extremely philosophical and spiritual, esoteric note here, but then there's a footnote that reads, "A courageous medical man, Charles Robert Richet, awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology, wrote as follows, 'Metaphysics is not yet officially a science, recognized as such, but it is going to be. At Edinburgh, I was able to affirm before 100 physiologists that our five senses are not our only means of knowledge, and that a fragment of reality sometimes reaches the intelligence in other ways. Because a fact is rare is no reason that it does not exist. Because a study is difficult, is that a reason for not understanding it? Those who have railed at metaphysics as an occult science will be as ashamed of themselves as those who railed at chemistry on the grounds that pursuit of the philosopher's stone was illusory. In the matter of principles, there are only those of Lavoisier, Claude Bernard, and Pasteur, the experimental everywhere and always. Greetings, then, to the new science which is going to change the orientation of human thought. A subtle spiritual structure is hidden just beyond the bodily mechanism." And this is what I love so much about this book, is that I constantly keep saying this. It's not just some blind dogmatic belief. It doesn't just say, like, and look at this miracle man was able to explain blah, 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 and do all this. It's kind of hard to believe, especially with the Western mind. I was the same way. I'm like, what? Like, really? And then they coupled it with, like, people who have won Nobel Peace Prizes in these fields, and coupled it with, like, the most modern science, and, like, I was talking to my friend this morning in a Discord, and I was just telling him, like, when you get to the highest levels of mathematics, when you get to the highest levels of metaphysics, of science and chemistry, that's when you start to get to the language of the Creator. That is the highest of intelligence. I was talking to him earlier. I was showing him a quote from the head of Cambridge's metaphysical department. His name is Fred Hoyle? Fred Hoyle was his name? I don't know if he's still alive. I think he might be. And he said, after all his study, after all his work, the head of the metaphysical department at Cambridge University, he says the entire universe can be nothing more than a dream of God. He's like, after all the science, after seeing how the proton and the photon work and seeing how everything is perfectly created around us, there is absolutely no way that there's a chance that this was not without an intelligent design. The way that the atom is functioned, the way that if any of the gases in our universe and our Earth was not properly or improperly weighed, it would cause the whole world to implode on itself. The structure of gravity wouldn't be capable. Dust and clay are now becoming life amongst us. We're now moving and talking and speaking. It's like, once you get to the highest levels of it all, that's when you start, it's not... Science and religion, I believe, are just two sides of the same coin. At least in my personal opinion. I apologize for digressing there. Sri Yukteswar counseled his students to be living liaisons of Western and Eastern virtues. Himself an executive Occidental in outer habits, inwardly he was the spiritual Oriental. He praised the progressive, resourceful, and hygienic ways of the West, and the religious ideals that give a centuried halo to the East. Discipline had not been unknown to me. At home, father was strict. Ananta, often severe. But Sri Yukteswar's training may not be described as other than drastic. A perfectionist, my guru was hypercritical of his disciples, whether in matters of moment or in the subtle nuances of ordinary behavior. Good manners without sincerity are like a beautiful dead lady. he remarked on suitable occasion. Straightforwardness without civility is like a surgeon's knife, effective but unpleasant. Candor with courtesy is helpful and admirable. Master was apparently satisfied with my spiritual progress, for he seldom referred to it. In other matters, my ears were no strangers to reproof. My chief offenses were absent-mindedness, intermittent indulgence in sad moods, non-observance of certain rules of etiquette, and occasional unmethodical ways. Observe how the activities of your father, Bhagavati, are well organized and well balanced, my guru pointed out. The two disciples of Lahiri Mahashaya had met. Soon after my first visit to the Serampore hermitage, father and master deeply admired each other. Both had built a beautiful inner life on foundations of spiritual granite, insoluble against the ages. Isn't that good? From a transient teacher of my earlier life, I had imbibed a few erroneous lessons. A chela, I had been told, need not concern himself strenuously with worldly duties. When I had neglected or carelessly performed my task, I had not been chastised. Human nature finds such instruction very easy of assimilation. Under Master's unsparing rod, however, I soon recovered from the agreeable delusion of irresponsibility. Those who are too good for this world are adorning some other, Sri Yukteswar remarked one day. So long as you breathe the free air of earth, you are under obligation to render grateful service. Only he who has fully mastered the breathless state is freed from cosmic imperatives. The breathless state is referred to earlier as samadhi or superconsciousness. He added dryly, I shall not fail to let you know when you have attained the final perfection. He's like, I won't fail to let you know when you attain the final perfection. He added dryly, my guru could not be bribed, even by love. He showed no leniency to anyone who, like myself, had willingly offered to become a disciple. Whether Master and I were surrounded by his students or by strangers, or were alone together, he always spoke plainly and upbraided sharply. No trifling lapse into shallowness or inconsistency escaped his rebuke. This flattening to the ego treatment was hard to endure, but my unchangeable resolve was to allow Sri Yukteswar to iron out all my psychological kinks. Pardon me. As he labored at this titanic transformation, I shook many times under the weight of his disciplinary hammer. If you don't like my words, you are free to leave. You are at liberty to leave at any time. Master assured me, I want nothing from you but your own improvement. Stay only if you feel benefited. I am unmeasurably grateful for the humbling blows he dealt my vanity. I sometimes felt that, metaphorically, he was discovering and uprooting every diseased tooth in my jaw, and the hard core of egotism is difficult to dislodge, except rudely. With its departure, the divine finds at last an unobstructed channel. In vain it seeks to percolate through flinty hearts of selfishness. My God, what a paragraph. Zarif, Z, what up, man? Benjamin. I'm high playing the Pokemans. Oh, good. You're still playing the Pokemans. Oh, you kids and your Pokemans. Using the headphones to repeat back the book on tape he's listening to. Just pretending he knows how to read. Shaking my head. Shut the hell up. I'm like, quickly, dude, these words, sometimes, I'm like, my goodness. And I was just talking to Richie about this right now. Like, these guys are like Indian saints, you know, considered kind of like, at least to us, Westerners would consider them kind of like uneducated. I can't even say the damn words they're using in their book about their life. I'm like, my God, I am dumb. Like, geez Louise, like, I've learned so much. This book increased my vocabulary, like, seriously. Like, I didn't know what anachromatic meant, or whatever the hell that was. See, I still don't know what it means. It's like, Benjamin Danklin said, come on, take the herb. I definitely will. Premise, is that hash, man, learning? Is that hash over there? Learning? Who taught you them words? He's like, who taught you that word? Pedantic? I didn't know what pedantic meant. That was make-believe. Guys, please check out True Benjamin Dangling. Super great. Z's amazing. Zarif. I still don't know how to say her name. Great people. Fantastic time. Really good at games. I learned that from Family Guy. Yeah, pedantic. Shallow and pedantic. Like a real American. I heard it from Family Guy. I didn't know what it meant. Yes, it's good. It's good to use good vocabulary. Vocabulary is nice. It changes. It makes the sentence spicy. Volgrim said, I'm still lurking. Nikki, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much. Guys, please check out Nikki as well. Volgrim Reaper, super nice. Very supportive. I already talked about Volgrim enough. You gotta find that heart of gold underneath the pile of try-hard sweatiness. Yes. Let me read this paragraph again because it's just like, it's so beautiful. It's like, he's talking about how intense his guru was and how much it worked. I am very tired today, so just vibing. I feel that, girl. It's not easy. It's not easy doing what you do, and I know you're doing full-time streaming, and people think it's like, oh, fun. It's not, dude. It's more draining than a regular job. Like, you give up your fucking being and your soul to try to dance around, and I really appreciate you, and you're doing amazing. I'm sorry. I know you're tired. Take the day off. Please enjoy yourself. And you're always on here doing stuff. Take a day to breathe in and just enjoy your time. I really appreciate you being here, though. Thank you. It means so much to me, but please enjoy your life. Abby, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for the lurks. Thank you for being my friends. I love you all. So this extreme ego-flattening treatment that he was talking about, if you don't like my words, you're at liberty to leave at any time, Master assured me. I want nothing from you but your own improvement. Stay only if you feel benefited. I am immeasurably grateful for the humbling blows he dealt my vanity. I sometimes felt that, metaphorically. He was discovering and uprooting every diseased tooth in my jaw. The hard core of egotism is difficult to dislodge except brutally. With its departure, the divine finds at last an unobstructed channel. In vain, it seeks to percolate through flinty hearts of selfishness. In vain, the divine tries to come through most flinty hearts of selfishness. We need to go through this, you see. We need to be uprooted. We need to have our ego stamped out and made small so that way what really needs to come through comes through. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Your joy brings me joy. Sri Yukteswar's intuition was penetrating. Heedless of remarks, he often replied to one's unexpressed thoughts. The words a person uses and the actual thoughts behind them may be poles apart. By calmness, my guru said, try to feel the thoughts behind the confusion of men's verbiage. The disclosures of divine insight are often painful to worldly ears. Master was not popular with superficial students. The wise, always few in number, deeply revered him. I dare say Sri Yukteswar would have been the most sought-after guru in India had his speech not been so candid and so censorious. I am hard on those who come for my training, he admitted to me. That is my way. Take it or leave it. I never compromise, but you will be much kinder to your disciples. That is your way. I try to purify only in fires of severity. These are searing beyond the average toleration. The gentle approach of love is also transfiguring. The inflexible and the unyielding methods are equally effective if applied with wisdom, he added. You will go to foreign lands where blunt assaults on the ego are not appreciated. A teacher could not spread India's message in the West without an ample fund of accommodative patience and forbearance. I refuse to say how often in America I have remembered Master's words. Oh my God, yeah, exactly. Like, could you imagine a bunch of Westerners trying to take on this? You know, you come to a guru for enlightenment and he just starts berating you and telling you every problem you have and pointing out every flaw. Like, no way. You would like, they could barely take it in India. Imagine here in the West, it would never take off. It would never fly. Like, hell no. Like, oh, how dare you, you know? Like, no way. Don't you ever, like. He was not popular among superficial students. Through my guru's undissembling speech prevented a large following. Though my guru's undissembling speech prevented a large following during his years on earth, nevertheless, through an ever-growing number of sincere students of his teachings, his spirit lives on in the world today. Warriors like Alexander the Great seek sovereignty over the soil. Masters like Sri Yukteswar win a farther dominion. in men's souls. It was Master's practice to point out the simple, negligible shortcomings of his disciples with an air of portentous gravity. One day my father visited Serampore to pay his respects to Sri Yukteswar. My parent expected, very likely, to hear some words in my praise. He was shocked to be given a long account of my imperfections. He rushed to see me. From my Guru's remarks, I thought to find you a complete wreck. My parent was between tears and laughter. The only cause of Sri Yukteswar's displeasure at the time was that I had been trying, against his gentle hint, to convert a certain man to his spiritual path. Today is the last day, Hash. You may save. Oh, yeah, I know, dude. Today's the day. I think I'm going to shave today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll keep it. It's been keeping me warm. It just like, it's been like itchy and I don't know. I really want to like exfoliate my skin and I can't properly. Check out Equinoxide, guys. Really nice guy. Super dope. Full-time streamer dude. Keeping the Diablo alive. Thank you for keeping Diablo alive. Yes, it is the final day of November. No Shave November is over, guys. A beard makes you look less vegan. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing in your case. Is that a good thing in your case? What is that? You look like you could eat a lot of meat. Mods, see him out. Mods, come up hither. You gotta go. I'm just kidding. Is that allowed? It's anywho, primitive Ash. Shut the. All right, yeah, I'm shaving for sure. It was Master's practice to point out the simple, negligible shortcomings of his disciples with an air of portentous gravity. Oh yeah, we read that. His Guru came. With indignant speed, I sought out my Guru. He received me with downcast eyes, as though conscious of guilt. It was the only time I ever saw the divine lion meek before me. The unique moment was savored to the full. Sir, why did you judge me so mercilessly before my astounded father? Was that just? I will not do it again. Sri Yukteswar's tone was apologetic. Instantly I was disarmed. How readily had the great man admitted a fault! Though he never again upset father's peace of mind, Master relentlessly continued to dissect me, whenever and wherever he chose. Looks good, though, in my opinion. Very distinguished, very defined. Demure. Yeah, it's very demure. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I've been getting a lot of compliments, so I like that. But I don't care about the compliments of people. New disciples often join Sri Yukteswar in exhaustive criticism of others, wise like the Guru, models of flawless discrimination. But he who takes the offensive should not be defenseless. The carping students themselves fled precipitantly as soon as Master publicly unloosed in their direction a few shafts from their analytical quiver. Oh my goodness. My God. What a sentence. New disciples often join Sri Yukteswar in exhaustive criticism of others, wise like the Guru, models of flawless discrimination. But he who takes the offensive should not be defenseless. The carping students themselves fled precipitately as soon as Master publicly unloosed in their direction a few shafts from his analytical quiver. Tender inner weaknesses, revolting at mild touches of censure, are like diseased parts of the body, recoiling before even delicate handling. This was Sri Yukteswar's amused comment on the flighty ones. Your doggos give you kisses with all the crumbs stuck in your beard? My dogs have been all over me, dude. I don't know what's going on with them. They're into me. Many disciples have a preconceived image of a guru by which they judge his words and actions. Such persons often complain that they did not understand Sri Yukteswar. Neither do you understand God, I retorted on one occasion. If a saint were clear to you, you would be one. Among the trillion mysteries, breathing every second the inexplicable air, may one venture to ask that the fathomless nature of a master be instantly grasped? Students came and generally went. Those who craved an easy path, that of instant sympathy and comforting recognition of one's merits, did not find it at the Hermitage. Master offered his disciples shelter and shepherding for the eons, but many students miserably demanded ego balm as well. Ego balm. Ego balm. Hell yeah, I feel that. They departed, preferring, before any humility, life's countless humiliations. Sri Yukteswar's blazing rays, the open penetrating sunshine of his wisdom, were too powerful for their spiritual sickness. They sought out some lesser teacher, who, shading them from flattery, permitted the fitful sleep of ignorance. During my early my God, what imagery, huh? During my early months with Master, I experienced a sensitive fear of his reprimands. I soon saw that his verbal vivisections were performed only on persons who, like myself, had asked him to discipline them. If any writhing student made a protest, Sri Yukteswar, unoffended, would fall into silence. His words were never wrathful, but impersonal with wisdom. Master's rebukes were not aimed at... Oh my God, dude, why you guys like this? That's what I'm talking about. Like, they're literally, like, pushing the camera over. They're, like, hitting my light stand over. They're like, why aren't you hugging me and paying attention to me? If I get through this quickly, we can hug. All right. Master's rebukes were not aimed at casual visitors. He seldom remarked on their defects, even if conspicuous. Put towards students who sought his counsel, Sri Yukteswar felt a serious responsibility. Brave indeed is the Guru who undertakes to transform the crude ore of ego-permeated humanity. A saint's courage is rooted in his compassion for Maya-bewildered men, the stumbling eyeless of the world. After I had abandoned underlying resentment, I found a marked decrease in my chastisement. In a very subtle way, Master melted into comparative clemency. In time, I demolished every wall of rationalism and subconscious reservation behind which the human personality generally shields itself. The reward was in effortless harmony with my Guru. I discovered him then to be trusting, considerate, and silently loving. Undemonstrative, however, he bestowed no word of affection. He never bestowed a word of affection. There was, he just said right now, in time I demolished every wall of rationalization and subconscious. So there's a footnote here, and it reads, our conscious and subconscious being is crowned by superconsciousness. Rabbi Israel H. Leventhal pointed out in a lecture in New York. Many years ago, the English psychologist F.W.H. Myers suggested that hidden in the deep of our being is a rubbish heap as well as a treasure house. In contrast to the psychology that centers all its researches on the subconscious in man's nature, the new psychology of the superconscious focuses its attention upon the treasure house, the region that alone can explain the great, unselfish, heroic deeds of men. The superconscious, the subconscious. My own temperament is principally devotional. It was disconcerting at first to find that my Guru, saturated with jnana, but seemingly dry of bhakti. Bhakti is devotion. So jnana is wisdom, bhakti is devotion, two of the main paths to God. So he's saying like, my Guru who was saturated with wisdom was dry of devotion, it seemed like. Expressed himself chiefly in terms of cold spiritual mathematics. But as I attuned myself to his nature, I discovered no diminution, my God, but rather an increase in my devotional approach to God. A self-realized master is fully able to guide his various disciples along the natural lines of their essential bias. My relationship with Sri Yukteswar was somewhat inarticulate, yet possessed a hidden eloquence. Often I found his silent signature on my thoughts, rendering speech inutile. Quietly sitting beside him, I would feel his bounty pouring peacefully over my being. Master's impartial justice was notably demonstrated during the summer vacation of my first college year. I had been looking forward to uninterrupted months in Serampore with my guru. You may be in charge of the hermitage. Sri Yukteswar was pleased over my enthusiastic arrival. Your duties will be the reception of guests and supervision of the work of the other disciples. Kumar, a young villager from East Bengal, was accepted a fortnight later for ashram training. Remarkably intelligent, he quickly won Master's affection. For some unfathomable reason, Sri Yukteswar adopted an uncritical attitude toward the new resident. Mukunda, let Kumar assume your duties. Employ your own time in sweeping and cooking. Master issued these instructions after the new boy had been with us for only a month. Exalted to leadership, Kumar exercised a petty household tyranny. In silent mutiny, the other disciples continued to seek me out for daily counsel. This situation continued for 3 weeks. Then I overheard a conversation between Kumar and Master. Mukunda, is impossible, the boy said. You made me supervisor, yet the others go to him and obey him. That's why I assigned him to the kitchen and you to the parlor, so you might come to the realization that a worthy leader has the desire to serve, not to dominate. Sri Yukteswar's withering tones were new to Kumar. You wanted Mukunda's position, but could not maintain it by merit. Return now to your earlier work as cook's assistant. After this humbling incident, Master resumed toward Kumar a former attitude of unwanted indulgence. Who may solve the mystery of attraction? In Kumar, our guru discovered a charming fount, one, however, that did not spurt for the fellow disciples. Though the new boy was obviously in Sri Yukteswar's favorite, I felt no dismay. Personal idiosyncrasies, possessed even by masters, lend a rich complexity to the pattern of life. My nature is seldom commandeered by a detail. I was seeking from Sri Yukteswar a higher benefit than outward praise. Kumar spoke venomously to me one day without reason. I was deeply hurt. What is it? This is a great example of what lectures are like in college. Nice stimulator. Oh yeah, is this what it is? I don't... where you're just getting absolutely berated all the time? Your head is swelling to the bursting point. I added a warning whose truth I felt intuitively. Unless you mend your ways, someday you will be asked to leave this ashram. Laughing sarcastically, Kumar repeated my remark to our guru, who had just entered the room. Fully expecting to be scolded, I retired meekly to a corner. Maybe Mukunda is right. Master's reply to the boy came with unusual coldness. A year later, Kumar said, it's more of it goes in one ear and out the other, and you try your best not to fall asleep for an hour. What a jerk. Oh my gosh. Maybe Mukunda is right. Master's reply to the boy came with unusual coldness. A year later, Kumar set out for a visit of his childhood home. He ignored the quiet disapproval of Sri Yukteswar, who never authoritatively controlled his disciples' movements. On the boy's return to Serampore in a few months, a change was unpleasantly apparent. Gone was the stately Kumar with serenely glowing face. Only an undistinguished peasant stood before us, one who had lately acquired a number of evil habits. Master summoned me and broken-heartedly discussed the fact that the boy was now unsuited to the monastic hermitage life. Mukunda, I will leave it to you to instruct Kumar to leave the ashram tomorrow. I can't do it. Tears stood in Sri Yukteswar's eyes, but he controlled himself quickly. The boy would never have fallen to these depths had he listened to me and not gone away to mix with the undesirable companions. He has rejected my protection. The callous world must be his guru still. Kumar's departure brought me no elation. Sadly, I wondered how one with the power to win a master's love could readily respond to worldly allures. enjoyments of wine and sex, are rooted in the natural man. To appreciate them one requires no delicacy of perception. Sense wiles are comparable to the evergreen oleander fragrance with its rosy-colored flowers. Every part of the plant is poisonous. The land of healing lies within, radiant with the happiness that is blindly sought in 1,000 outer directions. The footnote reads below about the plant that is poisonous but smells good. Man in his waking state puts forth innumerable efforts for experiencing sensual pleasures. When the entire group of sensory organs is fatigued, he forgets even the pleasure on hand and goes to sleep in order to enjoy the rest in the soul, his own nature. Shankara, the great Vedantist, has written, ultra-sensual bliss is thus extremely easy to attain and is far superior to sense delights, which always end in disgust. Yeah, I've learned more about whatever it is you're reading than I have ever known, yet I can't explain or recite a single sentence you have uttered into my ear. Isn't that interesting? There's like a magic around this, you know, like it's almost like it's like you're not allowed to talk about this stuff. It's so interesting, it's so hidden, it's like, oh man, it's almost like the Matrix, dude. It's so interesting, this whole part right here, like, what a powerful lesson. Did you hear that? Like he said, you know, Kumar was his favorite. This kid was his favorite kid. I'm just experiencing Zen or out of body. It's like just experiencing Zen or out of body. You're like, oh, thank you, man. Try to stay in your body if you can. So Kumar was his favorite. He treated him well. He didn't treat him like he treated Guru and all the other disciples, like talking crap to him. He treated him sweetly. And he took Yogananda's position, made him the kitchen aide, and then made him, this kid who's only been there for like a month, made him Mukunda's position as like the head of the ashram. And, you know, Mukunda wasn't sad about it. The kid still kept going to Mukunda because his kid, Kumar, was not doing it right. He was messing up. He was being tyrannical. And he went to complain. And Sri Yukteswar said, he's like, they're not listening to me. They're still going to Mukunda. We need to get rid of Mukunda. He's like, look. He's like, I did this on purpose. He's like, I wanted to show you that a proper leader does not rule by just being a leader. They rule because they serve. A proper leader wishes to serve, not to rule. A king is treated just as such because he takes on the worries of an entire nation. Is actually a slave to everybody is what a real proper king should be. Such a powerful lesson. And now he has to kick him out. Keen intelligence is two-edged, Master once remarked in reference to Kumar's brilliant mind. It may be used constructively or destructively, like a knife, either to cut the boil of ignorance or to decapitate oneself. Intelligence is rightly guided only after the mind has acknowledged the inescapability of spiritual law. My Guru mixed freely with men and women disciples, treating all as his children, perceiving their soul equality. He made no distinction and showed no partiality. In sleep, you do not know whether you are a man or a woman, he said, just as a man impersonating a woman does not become one. So the soul impersonating both man and woman remains changeless. The soul is the immutable, unqualified image of God. Sri Yukteswar never avoided or blamed woman as the cause of man's downfall. He pointed out that women too have to face temptation from the opposite sex. I once asked Master why a great ancient saint had called women the door to hell. A girl must have proved very troublesome to his peace of mind in his early life, my Guru answered caustically. Otherwise he would have denounced not women, but some imperfection in his own self-control. If a visitor dared to relate a suggestive story in the hermitage, Master would maintain an unresponsive silence. Do not allow yourself to be thrashed by the provoking whip of a beautiful face, he told the disciples. How can sense slaves enjoy the world? Its subtle flavors escape them while they grovel in primal mud. All nice discriminations are lost to the man of elemental lust. So, I'm back. Can you do the air quotes again? what? It's so powerful, you know. It's so true. It's so interesting. Like these, you know, what he said earlier. You know, it doesn't take, especially where I work, dude. Like it's so difficult for me. Like I'm always alone. You know, I'm always like I don't really talk to a lot of people. Like some of my friends come up and I have to pretend, you know, talk about sports or act like a person. But it's like, dude, honestly, like that's what I'm always thinking about. They'll talk about like some female or some attractive thing, and it's like, oh yeah, dude, it's really difficult for me. I'm very lustful, you know. I'm not perfect at all. I do a lot of bad things, so I'm always constantly trying to get away from that small talk. Ugh, yeah, tell me about small talk. And they're just like, you know, it's like, dude, it doesn't take any keen intellect to enjoy the opposite sex. It doesn't take any keen intellect to enjoy sexual fruit. It doesn't take any wise longing of the heart or mind to like find sex. You know, animals find sex pleasurable, of course. You know, that's not anything new. It's just like, is that really all we have to talk about? Is that really it? Like, you know, I get it. It's funny. It's silly. It's just like, sometimes I'm like, damn, this is like sometimes it's like a genuine conversation. That's all they do. There's people, my friend who gives me a ride to work, dude, he'll just be on TikTok. Look at these damn TikTok models. He's like, oh, look at that. Isn't that hot? Isn't that hot? Look at her. It's like, is it? Is that satisfying to you? Does that really make you like, you know, of course they're beautiful. Of course they're hot. Like, it's nice, like, sure, but it's like, it kind of constricts your mind to like this level where you can't even enjoy other things. Like, what am I going to talk about now? Like, can we talk about, I don't know, like, what is joy? What is sorrow? What about gratitude? I don't know, like, I don't know. Sorry. I just find it, I always do this. I digress into things. How can sense slaves enjoy the world? Its subtle flavors escape them while they grovel in primal mud. All nice discriminations are lost to the man of elemental lust. Students seeking to escape from the Maya-induced sex delusion receive from CH.10-13's patient and understanding counsel. Just as hunger, not greed, has a legitimate purpose, so the sexual instinct has been implanted by nature solely for the propagation of the species, not for the kindling of insatiable longings, he said. Destroy wrong desires now. Otherwise, they will remain with you after the astral body has been separated from its physical casing. Even when the flesh is weak, the mind should be constantly resistant. If temptation assails you with cruel force, overcome it by impersonal analysis and indomitable will. Every natural passion can be mastered. Conserve your powers. Be like the capacious ocean absorbing quietly all the tributary rivers of the senses. Daily renewed sense yearnings sap your inner peace. They are like openings in a reservoir that permit vital waters to be wasted in the desert soil of materialism. The forceful activating impulse of wrong desire is the greatest enemy to the happiness of man. Roam in the world as a lion of self-control. Don't let the frogs of sense weakness kick you around. A true devotee is finally freed from all instinctive compulsions. He transforms his need for human affection into inspiration for God alone. A love solitary, because omnipresent. My dog wants to come in, my piggy. Take a knock on my door. Let me piggy with you. My pug will pig too. My pug will pig too. My puggle will do. My puggle will do. Ooh, 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 ooh. Sorry. Love dog. Here's a picture of Sri Yukteswar in the lotus posture. Notice his feet. The palms of his feet are faced upwards. That is like the lotus posture, the most comfortable position. Sri Yukteswar's seaside ashram in Puri, Orissa, near the Bay of Bengal. See all photos opposite page 145. Barry, Augie, sorry. Do you guys want to go up? Do you want to go up? My dog's getting older. Oh, my mattress came today. Oh my God, I forgot my mattress came today. I need to go get my mattress too before. I don't think anyone's gonna take it. I live in a pretty nice place. My feet could never. What do you mean? What? What do you mean by that? Yeah, my mattress came, but my bed frame is a full, so it's not gonna fit. I got a queen, so it's not gonna fit the it's not gonna fit the frame. So I have the mattress. I have to wait for the bed frame to come in. So I still have it in like the box. I don't know. Maybe I should let it out and let it like kind of reform. Point upward. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, that was weird lighting, huh? Sorry, we're good. All my doggies are in. Let me finish this really long chapter. I apologize. Oh. Sri Yukteswar's mother lived in... They say the longer it is out of the box, the better, before you sleep on it. Oh, okay, I'll take it out. All right. I could never point my feet upwards. Sri Yukteswar's mother lived in the Rana Mahal district of Benares, where I had first visited my guru. Gracious and kindly, she was yet a woman of very decided opinions. I stood on her balcony one day and watched mother and son talking together. In his quiet, sensible way, Master was trying to convince her about something. He was apparently unsuccessful, for she shook her head with great vigor. Nay, nay, my son, go away now. Your wise words are not for me. I am not your disciple. Sri Yukteswar backed away without further argument, like a scolded child. I was touched at his great respect for his mother, even in her unreasonable moods. She saw him only as her little boy, not as a sage. There was a charm about the trifling incident. It supplied a sidelight on my guru's unusual nature, inwardly humble and outwardly unbendable. The monastic regulations do not permit a Swami to retain connections with worldly ties after their formal severance. He may not perform the ceremonial family rites that are obligatory on the householder. Yet Shankara, reorganizer of the ancient Swami order, disregarded this injunction. After the death of his beloved mother, he cremated her body with heavenly fire that he caused to spurt from his upraised hands. I could never. Sri Yukteswar also ignored the restrictions. In a fashion less spectacular, when his mother passed on, he arranged for crematory services by the holy Ganges in Benares, and fed many Brahmins in conformance with householder customs. The Shastric prohibitions were intended to help Swamis to overcome narrow identifications. Shankara and Sri Yukteswar had wholly immersed their being in the impersonal spirit. They needed no rescue by rule. Sometimes, too, a master purposely ignores a canon in order to uphold its principle as superior to and independent of form. Thus, Jesus plucked ears of corn on the day of rest. To the inevitable critics he said, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Interesting. With the exception of these scriptures, Sri Yukteswar read little, yet he was invariably acquainted with the latest scientific discoveries and other advances of knowledge. There's a footnote here, and it reads, when he so desired, Master could instantly attune himself to the mind of any man, a yogic power mentioned in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, chapter 3, verse 19. His powers as a human radio and the nature of thoughts are explained later on page 134. A brilliant conversationalist, he enjoyed an exchange of views on countless topics with his guest. My guru's ready wit and rollicking laugh enlivened every discussion. Often grave, Master was never gloomy. To seek the Lord, men need not disfigure their faces, he would say, quoting from the Bible. Remember that finding God will mean the funeral of all sorrows. The Bible verse, it reads Matthew verse 6:16. Among the philosophers, professors, lawyers, and scientists who came to the hermitage, a number arrived for their first visit with the thought of meeting an orthodox religionist. Occasionally, a supercilious smile or a glance of amused tolerance would betray that the newcomers expected nothing more than a few pious platitudes. After talking with Sri Yukteswar and... my goodness, another one. I'll be right back, I'm sorry. Get some water. Three's company too. 1 minute for the ads over. Should I get coffee too? I've had 2 cups already. Three's company too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. I wish the ads were forever. Excellent. Got some water anyways. Among the philosophers, professors, Among the philosophers, professors, lawyers, and scientists who came to the Hermitage, a number arrived for their first visit with the thought of meeting an orthodox religionist. Occasionally, a supercilious smile or a glance of amused tolerance would betray that the newcomers expected nothing more than a few pious platitudes. After talking with Sri Yukteswar and discovering that he possessed precise insight into their specialized fields of knowledge, the visitors would depart, reluctantly. My Guru ordinarily was gentle and affable to guests. His welcome was given with charming cordiality. Yet, inveterate egotist sometimes suffered an invigorating shock. They confronted in master either a frigid indifference or formidable opposition, ice or iron. A noted chemist once crossed swords with Sri Yukteswar. The visitor would not admit the existence of God, inasmuch as science had devised no means of detecting him. So, you have inexplicably failed to isolate the supreme power in your test tubes. Oh, great. Just what I wanted. Let me go yell at them. Bear! Bear! God, my dog's so annoying. I go over there and he looks all sad, and as soon as I close the door again, he's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." My damn neighbors across the street parking their car. Jeez Louise. So you have inexplicably failed to isolate the supreme power in your test tubes. Master's gaze was stern. I recommend a new experiment. Examine your thoughts unremittingly for 24 hours. Then wonder no longer at God's absence. A celebrated scholar received a similar jolt. It came during his first visit to the ashram. The rafters resounded as the guests recited passages from the Mahabharata, Upanishads, and Bhashyas, commentaries of Shankara. The Upanishads, or Vedanta, literally end of the Vedas, which occur in certain parts of the 4 Vedas, are essential summaries that form the doctrinal basis of the Hindu religion. Schopenhauer praised their deep, original, and sublime thoughts and said, access to the Vedas through Western translations of the Upanishads is, in my eyes, the greatest privilege this century may claim over all other centuries. My goodness, what a sentence. Mahabharata, Upanishads, and Bhashyas, commentaries of Shankara. I am waiting to hear you. Sri Yukteswar's tone was inquiring, as though silence had reigned. The pundit was puzzled. Quotations there have been in superabundance, Master's words convulsed me with mirth, as I squatted in my corner at a respectful distance from the visitor. But what original commentary can you supply from the uniqueness of your particular life? What holy texts have you absorbed and made your own? In what ways have these timeless truths renovated your nature? Are you content to be a hollow Victrola, mechanically repeating the words of other men? I give up. The scholar's chagrin was comical. I have no inner realization. For the first time, perhaps, he understood that discerning placement of a comma does not atone for a spiritual coma. These bloodless pedants smell unduly of the lamp, my guru remarked after the departure of the chastised one. They consider philosophy to be a gentle intellectual setting up exercise. Their elevated thoughts are carefully unrelated either to the crudity of outward action or to any scourging inner discipline. What? I don't even say there, you know? These bloodless pedants, so people who are obsessed with details, these bloodless pedants smell unduly of the lamp, my guru remarked after the departure of the chastised one. They consider philosophy to be a gentle intellectual setting up exercise. Their elevated thoughts are carefully unrelated either to the crudity of outward action or to any scourging inner discipline. Isn't that so true? You know, like, there's so many philosophers in the world. There's so many people in the world who talk of philosophy, you know, and like you see a lot of psychologists in this field, and you see these people and they kind of go insane. You know, a lot of them go absolutely mad. They don't know what's going on. And there's something missing. Especially going to college, going to a philosophy course, you know. It's missing so much of the emotional aspect. It's missing so much. There's no talk of spirit. There's no talk of the Eastern philosophy, which is so much more emotional. And that is something that's missing so much in the Western world. And once we get that combination, I think we're going to see a huge change in what we believe religion is, and what we believe spirituality is, and what we believe science is. Philosophy, yeah. Master stressed on other occasions the futility of mere book learning. Do not confuse understanding with a larger vocabulary, he remarked. Sacred writings are beneficial. Sacred writings are beneficial in stimulating desire for inward realization. If one stands at a time is slowly assimilated. Otherwise, continual intellectual study may result in vanity, false satisfaction, and undigested knowledge. Sri Yukteswar related one of his own experiences in scriptural edification. The scene was a forest hermitage in eastern Bengal, where he observed the procedure of a renowned teacher, Dabru Balav. His method, at once simple and difficult, was common in ancient India. Dabru Balav had gathered his disciples around him in the Sylvian solitudes. The holy Bhagavad Gita was open before them. Steadfastly they looked at one passage for half an hour, then closed their eyes. Another half hour slipped away. The master gave a brief comment. Motionless, they meditated again for an hour. Finally, the guru spoke. Do you now understand the stanza? Yes, sir, one of the group ventured this assertion. No, not fully. Seek the spiritual vitality that has given these words the power to rejuvenate India century after century. Another hour passed in silence. The master dismissed the students and turned to Sri Yukteswar. Do you know the Bhagavad Gita? No, sir, not really, though my eyes and mind have run through the pages many times. Hundreds have replied to me differently. The great sage smiled at master in blessing. If one busies himself with an outer display of spiritual wealth, what time is left for silent inward diving after the priceless pearls? Sri Yukteswar directed the study of his own disciples by the same intensive method of one-pointedness. Wisdom is not assimilated with the eyes, but with the atoms, he said. When your conviction of a truth is not merely in your brain, but in your being, you may diffidently vouch for its meaning. He discouraged any tendency a student might have to consider book knowledge a necessary step to spiritual realization. How phenomenal. The rishis wrote in one sentence profundities that commentating scholars busy themselves over for generations, he said. Endless literary controversy is for sluggard minds. What more quickly liberating thought than God is, nay, God? But man does not easily return to simplicity. It is seldom God for an intellectualist, but rather learned pomposities. Pomposities. His ego is pleased that he can grasp such erudition. Men who were pridefully conscious of their wealth or worldly position were likely in Master's presence to add humility to their other possessions. On one occasion, a local magistrate requested an interview at the seaside hermitage in Puri. The man, who was reputed to be ruthless, had it well within his power to dispossess us of the ashram. I mentioned this fact to my guru, but he seated himself with an uncompromising air, and did not rise to greet the visitor. Slightly nervous, I squatted near the door. Sri Yukteswar failed to ask me to fetch a chair for the magistrate, who had to be content with a wooden box. There was no fulfillment of the man's obvious expectation that his importance would be ceremoniously acknowledged. A metaphysical discussion ensued. The guest blundered through misinterpretations of the scriptures. As his accuracy sank, his ire rose. Do you know that I stood first in the M.A. examination? Reason had forsaken him, but he could still shout. Mr. Magistrate, you forgot that this is not your courtroom, Master replied evenly. From your childish remarks, one would surmise that your college career had been unremarkable. A university degree, in any case, is not related to Vedic realization. Saints are not produced in batches every semester like accountants. After a stunned silence, the visitor laughed heartily. This is my first encounter with a heavenly magistrate, he said. Later he made a formal request, couched in the legal terms that were evidently part and parcel of his being, to be accepted as a probationary disciple. Later he made a formal request, coached in the legal terms that were evidently part and parcel of his being, to be accepted as a probationary disciple. On several occasions, Sri Yukteswar, like Lahiri Mahashaya, discouraged unripe students who wished to join the Swami order. He told them not to join. To wear the ochre robe when one lacks God realization is misleading to society, the two masters said. Forget the outward symbols of renunciation, which may injure you by inducing a false pride. Nothing matters except your steady, daily spiritual advancement. For that, use Kriya Yoga. In measuring the worth of a man, a saint employs an invariable criterion, one far different from the shifting yardsticks of the world. Humanity, so variegated in its own eyes, is seen by a master to be divided into only two classes: ignorant men who are not seeking God, and wise men who are. My guru personally attended to the details connected with the management of his property. Unscrupulous persons on various occasions attempted to secure possession of Master's ancestral land. With determination and even by instigating lawsuits, Sri Yukteswar outwitted every opponent. He underwent these painful experiences from a desire never to be a begging guru, or a burden on his disciples. His financial independence was one reason why my alarmingly outspoken master was innocent of the cunnings of diplomacy. Unlike teachers who have to flatter their supporters, my guru was impervious to the influences, open or subtle, of others' wealth. Never did I hear him ask or even hint for money, for any purpose. His hermitage training was given free to all disciples. A court deputy arrived one day at the Sedanpur ashram to serve a legal summons. A disciple named Kanai and I ushered the man into Master's presence. The officer's attitude towards Sri Yukteswar was offensive. It will do you good to leave the shadows of your hermitage and breathe the honest air of a courtroom, he said contemptuously. I could not contain myself. Another word of your insolence and you will be on the floor, I advanced threateningly. Kanai also was shouting at the deputy. You wretch! Dare you bring your blasphemies into this sacred ashram? But Master stood protectingly in front of his abuser. Don't get excited over nothing. This man is only doing his rightful duty. The officer, dazed at his varying reception, respectfully offered a word of apology and sped away. Amazing as it was to find a master with such a fiery will could be so calm within. He fitted the Vedic definition of a man of God. Softer than the flower where kindness is concerned. Stronger than the thunder where principles are at stake. There are always those in the world who, in Browning's words, endure no light, being themselves obscure. Occasionally, an outsider, fevered over some imaginary grievance, would berate Sri Yukteswar. My imperturbable guru would listen politely, and analyzing himself to see if any shred of truth lay within the denunciation. These scenes would bring to my mind one of Master's inimitable observations. Some people try to be tall by cutting off the heads of others. The unfailing composure of a saint is impressive beyond any sermon. He that is slow to anger is better than the Almighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He that ruleth the spirit, better than he that taketh a city. I often reflected that my majestic master could easily have been an emperor or world-shaking warrior had his mind been centered on fame or worldly achievement. He had chosen instead to storm those inner citadels of wrath and egotism, whose fall is the height of a man. End of chapter. My gosh, what a chapter, huh? Gee, Willikers. Could have been like 3 chapters right there. Great googly moogly. That was good. Whew. So chapter 13 next Sunday, guys. My gosh. Long. Yo, Hash, what up, bro? Oh, good up. What up? Unpickable Luck. You just finished reading chapters 10 through 12. I was planning to get to 13, but I forgot how long chapter 12 was. It's a really good... Oh, man, these chapters were amazing. Chapter 10 was when he met Sri Yukteswar. Good reading. Oh, Mushmine, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, man. Oh, what a sweetheart. Guys, please check out The Unpickable Lock and Mushmine. Super amazing people. My phone's almost dead. My phone's like getting to less than 20%. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's such a phenomenal book. There's so much touching on there. What up, bro? Oh, thank you so much. Richie, you're so nice. Yeah, please check out Richie as well if you aren't already. They met his guru. Then he's met his gurus through such miraculous feats. His guru and him, he has the penniless boys in Brindaban test and kind of shows like the vaulted vulgar of the world and how things can be overcome by spirit, you know. And then this last chapter was just the years in his master's hermitage, and like it goes back and forth throughout the years, telling stories of his guru. And the word master, you know, it has kind of like a bad connotation here, but it means master of oneself. The word Guru Deva is used here, and it means one who is a true guru, a guru united with the divine, with God. And so he uses the word master. As he said, that's the only word I can really find in English. You know, it's not nearly as, you know, the English language doesn't have these things. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the read. Next week we'll do chapter 13. Let me see if I can raid from here. Who's on? Icy Paws, she's nice. Who else? Oh, Feed the Tall Boy. Last of Us Part 1. You guys want to see Feed the Tall Boy? He's nice. Clawfuls. Claire Obscure. I like Clawfuls. She's nice. She's a gamer mom. Bro, no, that shit's sad. Oh, Just Work just started? Let's do it. Oh, thank you for saying that. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I wanted to see. That dude's funny. I could stay in there for a while and make fun of him. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing, but we can be gaming later. I don't know if Richi's there. Oh, I can use 10,000 points in this channel to guide the raid. That'd be funny if I use the 10 points to raid in... I don't know, that's weird. Ooh, I can earn drops. Oh, is he doing Overwatch? Perf. I gotta get ready for drive, guys. I'm there. He said, I'm already there. Can we read where the red fern grows next week? No, I'm gonna cry. Oh, hit tall boy. Ah, sorry, Luck. Damn, I didn't even see your messages. My bad, dude. There's like a bunch of messages and I didn't see it. My bad. Next time. Tomorrow I'm going to stream and I'll raid into Luck then. He streams tomorrow as well. Thank you. I love you all so much. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I miss you already. Let's go raid into yeah, use that if you guys are a sub. Use that if you can. I don't really have raid message. I have those raid emotes. Use that if you have it. If you don't, just spam raid. Tell them you're a raid nerd. I love you all. Thank you for lurking. If you didn't say a word this whole time, I still appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Next Sunday, we'll get on to the next chapter. Love you. Let's go say hi to work.